My internet is holding on by literal threads today.
Yeah, mine's not looking too bad either.
As some of you may know or not, a garbage truck drove by, and I guess one of my cables running my house was a little loose or low, and the garbage truck hit it and like really messed it up. So got the company coming out pretty soon to fix that. But really appreciate everybody who attempted to come and hang out during the Beat Saber live stream. Definitely going to enjoy that. Also, I just want to say, what is up, Cloaked Reeker Games? Johnny Ripe Up the Stray Cat. Polish Paul VR, your PSVR dude. Yes. It's always better when there's more of us. Marcusor, or Seek the Game Cat. Berber Cat, good to see you, man. Void. Daffy the Game Duck, love that name. A Hobbit. Paper Wings. Drunk as fuck, but staying awake to watch, I hope. Stay awake.
We also hope.
Don't go into the light. That Space Shooter Game Cat, Colt 45, Rayman 88, also known as Super Tramp Yuki, Hack the Game Cat, Your Long Shadows. Wave your hands, wave your hands. A Hobbit, by the way, with the $5 donation already.
$5 donation.
Just to start things off, Center 669. Secrets of. Got to get the people that came in first. Tommy the Trophy Hunting Cat in a VR hat. Kev Gret. Just Incredible VR. Gabriel 004, the Secret Agent Game Cat. David Soto, Durand Fan VR. Robert Sullivan, you are the greatest person ever. Hello, nice. Everybody.
I love it. Let's do this. Woohoo! This is PSVR GAMESCAST Live, where we film live every, I don't know, what day is today? Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then we bring it to YouTube live, because that's what live means. It's like the same time. Internet connection issues abound. I already see Dave kind of stuttering. I hear AJ's got issues over there.
Full connection. Oh my god. That should be fine.
That's all right. Your screen froze on a very happy image of you. So as long as
that's good.
You're good, man. It's like everyone's, why is Dave so fucking happy this week?
There's a lot of reasons to be happy this week.
This week and every week. I'm Bryan Paul from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole, and to my far left is AJ from not only this channel, but also PSVR Underground, and sitting...
I have a new table. I don't have enough space to do this anymore, so I'm like afraid I'm going to like hit the table.
Karate chop your mic.
Hopefully the mic sounds better. I wanted to turn something into a positive today, and I noticed, Brian, I couldn't help but notice you still have the Halloween font rocking. Can't let it go, can you? I don't want to either.
The channel colors are basically black, white, and red, so it's kind of Halloween all year around. We got the new GameCat University T-shirts available on the store, and
I need to look at that.
I do not have a black, white, and red version, but I feel like there should be. That's from Or Seek the Game Cat. We also have Jojo the Game Dog created a new shirt for us as well. So all sorts of new merch on the store. And this guy between me and AJ, that's Dave from Davestation VR, smiling and frozen.
Am I frozen again? Jesus Christ.
You're a little bit.
Luckily your audio... Oh, I was going to say luckily your audio is fine, but... And there he is. He's back again.
There we go.
Yeah,
looking good. Looking at a solid 720p.
Just Incredible nails it. He goes, it's going to be a good cast.
You can always tell. Yeah.
Justin knows what's up.
Yeah. All right, guys. A little housekeeping. Let's make sure that everybody subscribes to all three of our channels. Also, make sure that you head on over to patreon.com/withoutparole.
Game.
No. That's where we draw the line with
Halloween. You still have the red font. You still got the red font, so I think we're good.
Then it's games all year long, I guess.
Yeah.
So hit us up for $1 or more every single month, because you love us almost as much as we love you. So please consider supporting the channel. What else, guys? What other housekeeping do we need to take care of? Make sure you join us at the GameCat Meetup 2020. I'm assuming that's going to be in it.
Dude, give it a rest.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop talking about that. But make sure you buy your PAX East tickets, because I'm going to be there all weekend. That's in February, so it's a little bit closer. And tickets do sell out pretty quickly. I'm sure the 4-day passes are probably already gone. All right, guys. I think we need to talk about some PlayStation VR stuff. What do you think?
I think we might
Holy
need
shit,
to.
man. There is so much stuff going on. I'm losing my mind.
Losing your mind.
I've been getting really worried. We recently had Sean Layden leave PlayStation. Then Gio, what's his last name? Corsi. I just didn't want to pronounce it wrong. He left, and I've been getting really worried. But we had some interesting news that came up today, actually. And so Herman Holst, who was recently at Guerrilla Games, is now the head of PlayStation Worldwide Studios. And of course, that position recently belonged to our champion of VR, Mr. Shuhei Yoshida, who's now going to be taking over with independent developer relations.
Yeah.
And just wanted to see your guys' thoughts on this. We did have as well a recent interview with Jim Ryan that, just basically gave us some regular PR speech, like, we're excited to head into the PS5. We're going to be making changes. It's like, yeah, we can see that. There's a lot of changes going on. But this is some really interesting news, and I want to see your guys' take and everyone in the chat as well. What do you think the impact of VR is going to be? They've already said that, this isn't going to probably have, they're still going to be supporting VR, of course. Still, that's something that we've got a huge lead on right now in the market. Last week when I said 4.2 million sold, that's actually probably a little outdated. It's probably around 5 right now. And just want to hear your guys' thoughts. Are you happy about this? Are you unhappy about it? And what do you think this means for the future of PlayStation VR?
I think this. Go ahead.
My thoughts are I need to take better notes. These are what my notes look like, and I just realized that it's absolute garbage. It's purple pen and black pen. I have no idea what's going on here.
It's like a doctor's
get with
note
it,
or
man.
something.
Get with it.
I need a new piece of paper. Dave, I'm sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead.
Oh, you're all good. So I think this is kind of an exciting move because we know Shuhei's been the guy kind of pushing VR behind VR. It's really supporting it. But most VR games that we've seen are from indie developers. So if he's in a position now to give them more support, like in the development process or promotion process, because he's working directly with indies only, that'll be really cool. Because there are so many awesome AAA games we're looking forward to. And we've seen, like you get your Skyrims, your Iron Mans. But then like Superhot, Beat Saber, those are indie devs. And those are some of the biggest games there are. So I think there are going to be more of those in the future, just sort of out of left field, like system sellers that we'll see as part of that relationship. So I'm down for it.
And I think Sony's such a big company, man, that like a lot of things are in the works already. Every time like Nintendo has a new president, people go, oh, what does this mean? What does this mean for the future of the company? But man, it's like the gears are turning and have been turning for so long on PlayStation 5, PlayStation VR 2, that all of that stuff is fairly cemented at this point. So the change in leadership doesn't actually mean a whole lot for anything short term, anything over the next couple of years. And I think that Sony has said as a company that they're very committed to PlayStation VR or VR as a whole. We've got nothing to worry about, and I think this also kind of shows that Sony's a flexible company, because there's no way they looked at Shuhei and were like, "You're not doing your job. You need to get out of here and go do something else. You're demoted."
Not. We would riot in the streets.
It's far more likely that he found that interacting with these smaller dev teams and doing these, and when you do things like be the president of a huge corporation, you fill a lot of different roles, and I'm sure that he found that one of his favorite roles was interacting with these smaller dev teams. And so, props to Sony for saying, hey, this is what works for you. This is what you enjoy doing. Then go. I mean, forge your future doing that, but with us, which is awesome.
Your Long Shadows seems to agree with us, saying VR is definitely coming from a lot of independent studios already. So the swap doesn't seem like bad news. I agree. I don't think it seems like bad news. I think it's more like an adjacent move. I got to ask too, Guerrilla makes Horizon Zero Dawn as well.
Yes, they do, which is a good guy to take over, because that's one of the best exclusives we've got.
That was a really big game, and the recent news of the VR mode, makes me interested to see like if they're going to still be, obviously they're still going to be coming out with something soon with that, but interested to see how that's delivered.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm very excited to see what the future holds for Sony. So. That's it, man. I don't have a lot to say about the internal workings of huge corporations, since I've never worked for a huge corporation.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I mean, I've worked for huge corporations, but been on like the bottom rung and been I don't know what's going on up there in the ivory tower. I'm just down here.
I was pretty sure you were a paid corporate shill. I was. Am I wrong in that?
I do. I've heard that before. You're so positive about everything.
You're so positive. You're the most positive person I've ever met.
Oh my god.
Sony paid you to say Deadlands.
He's like.
Hey.
That's great.
I love Deadlands. I can't lie. I don't know. So.
But yeah, I'm definitely excited to see, this what's going on next. Obviously, we have a ton of games still coming out just this month alone. So I will say they did say at one point that, they're not done with PS4 yet. I know we've got Iron Man coming out. But it seems like there may be another release or two, like big ones. I mean, coming out for PS4. And then they're going to try to make that transition as easy as possible.
And we always see with a console generation, going forward, there's the overlap of like, well, you could get the PS4 version or you could get the PS5 version of this. So I assume we'll see a lot of big games that have that option where you can play it in a lower resolution, lower quality on your PS4, but it's also available for PS5.
Right.
Yeah,
kind of like the jump from PS3 to PS4.
Doing that
Exactly.
with backward compatibility is going to be so interesting to see who buys what, right? Because for me, I want to be... it'll be nice for people who haven't bought PlayStation 5 to be able to buy the PlayStation 4 version of something, play it, and then when they upgrade, still be able to play it.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Right, but like, how many early adopters are going to jump in and just want everything on PlayStation 5? It'll be curious to see the numbers on that if they share that with us.
So yeah, looking forward to that. Now, guys, we got some exciting news today from our good friends over at the Binary Mill. Of course, you may know them. They made the game Rush, as well as Gun Club VR. I don't know if you're aware or not. Gun Club VR is actually like smashing it. I see it like every week on the like top games of the month or whatever. If it's not there, I know it's getting close like every year because
AJ, people love guns, man.
people do love guns. Speaking
and it's
of,
a really good kind of gun range simulator. Like, it's
well,
fun. There's
did you guys
different modes and stuff?
Right. Speaking of modes, did you guys even know that they did like a stealth release of like a Halloween update? Did you know that?
No,
I missed that.
Yeah.
That.
There was a Halloween update for Gun Club VR, and it had like zombie targets and stuff like that. So if you missed that and you have that game, you've got some extra game to go check out and give it a shot. So they have announced a new game, however, they're planning for a December release called Mini Motor Racing X. And as you know, just like with the rest of their games, they've all been kind of on the mobile platform first, and they've evolved them and developed them more and more. And now they've brought them to PlayStation VR. And like I said, I've liked their last two games, so I'm going to immediately have pretty good hopes for this game being pretty good. But, some of the highlights is that it's got over 50 levels. It's got a career mode, dozens of cars to unlock and upgrade. It's also going to be online co-op as well as I think local co-op as well, online versus, and there's actually cross-play with flat screen mode. So people can play this flat screen as well that don't. So if you have some friends that don't have a VR, first of all, tell them that they need to go buy a VR. But if they still don't, then
AJ, I think it's important to mention really fast here that this trailer that's showing is for one of their older mobile versions of this game, and it's showing like track creators and stuff like that. And I just want to make sure that everyone knows that they haven't announced anything like that. This is just a good indication of what the game will look like, but they haven't said anything about track creators. So if you see that in this trailer, that's a different game. This is Evo, not X.
They are going to have a new trailer for it pretty soon as well. So we'll be taking a look. But yeah, this game looks pretty cool to me, man. I was a big fan of Tiny Tracks. I just didn't think the game had a lot of depth. But it was fun overall. I had a good time.
That game was hard as balls too. At a certain
Tiny
point,
Tracks?
the game was. Oh my god, are you kidding? That game was very difficult. How much did you play?
I mean,
if you didn't get to the hard part. Yeah, no, I mean, it gets insanely difficult at a certain point.
Getting first place was like, you had to race the same track like 10 times to figure out exactly every turn and everything.
But
I
this
know
one looks more interesting because it's not
definitely.
on a track.
It's like, not a slot car racer. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like the perspective of a slot car racer, but it's actually, you have freedom to go turn left and right and drift and whatever.
It's like RC Pro-Am.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh,
and there's actually, that's exactly what it looks like. And there's also like another VR like point of view that we haven't even seen yet. So I don't know if it's going to be first person or if I doubt it's going to be first person, but that would be amazing. But it seems like it's going to be like right behind the car. I think wasn't like Trackmania Turbo, something like that.
They switched between first person and third person. Like when you got through certain parts, it would flip to first person. I do like the idea of a full first person mode for a game like this because you're on a tiny course, or you're a tiny car on a course.
Right. Would
everything look really big around you? Like that might be kind of a cool scaling effect.
Yeah, I mean, it could end up looking amazing. I mean, yeah, especially just the way it would be implemented in VR. But like I said, also Binary Mill's track record has me pretty excited for this as well. And this game seems to be very meaty.
No, absolutely. The fact that it has, they're saying this. I'd like a specification, honestly, because they said 50 environments, but then they go on to say day and night cycles, weather effects. So all these different things can affect it. But 50 environments. That can't mean 50 tracks. That would be insane.
Maybe.
I think that's what it means, man. I mean, this gameplay that you're showing, yeah, I mean, I see streets, I see deserts, I see islands, I see all sorts of stuff, cities.
And it
even
just
some
had 40 tracks on the
ones.
screen, so maybe.
Yeah, the original thing had 40 tracks, and I think they've actually added more to it since then. So, like I said, we're just going to be keeping our ear out for this one. They actually said they'll be sending us some information on it, so we'll have some stuff directly from them. So, but I mean, this was a nice surprise. This came out of nowhere, and I saw them tweeting about this. They were tweeting about Moto Racing X and Motor Racing X, and saying that there was
Motor Racing,
mini Motor Racing X.
Motor Racer's awful.
Oh, yes.
One of the worst games you can buy. Yeah,
for VR,
but
it's actually okay on flat.
But yeah, they were tweeting about it, and then I saw that, and I kept an eye on it, and then sure enough, later on, they said that there's a thing, and of course, the best info is what they gave me. But I'm excited about the career mode with the co-op. Oh man, I love co-op stuff, dude.
I'm just excited about being able to upgrade my vehicle. Like that, just feel that to me that says, okay, this is obviously an arcade racer, but it just that gives it the kind of depth that I'm looking for in this kind of game. You start tricking out your car, and just like every single race, it gets harder and harder with more difficult enemies, but then you're also upgrading your car, and I don't know. There's something about that gameplay loop that really appeals to me.
The old
Super Off-Road did it too. Yeah.
Gran Turismo thing.
Oh, the local campaign is co-op, and it says multiplayer up to 4 players. It also says there's a party mode, so we'll see what the party mode's all about. It says mini games, so sounds pretty good to me.
It's like same thing as the regular mode, but with lots of cocaine.
Party. But yeah, so definitely looking forward to that one. Let's see here.
Yeah. Is that all we have for Mini Motor Racing X?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot.
It's a hard one to say.
We just really, I know, man. That really is.
I don't know. I can never tell when this thing's going to shut up. You want to take that one, Bryan?
I'll take it. This is from Nihilist Ryan, the game Feline, with a $5 donation saying, I know it won't happen, but I want that Mini Moto X game to have guns. I also would like it to have guns, because then it can be like a proper kart racer as well.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be like calling all cars,
Whoa.
which was like
David Jaffe's project.
Yes,
wow.
Yes. I follow everything that guy does, the good and the bad. But yeah, calling all cars was pretty fun. It's hard to talk today for some reason.
I'm having the same problem. It's okay, but I have the same problem every day.
It's all that cocaine.
Yes, party all the time.
No, but
hey, just gonna move on. We have so many news stories to talk about. I think we need to probably talk about the next one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. There's only like 10 stories or so. So
okay.
Out.
So once we get to the 10th, do we all just jump off in unison?
Yeah.
That was a suicide joke, everybody.
Everybody, just calm down. I Expect You to Die has a new update that is scheduled to come out pretty soon. And they've added a new level. And this will be, of course, the final update to this game. And yeah, it's a space mission.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Right. So they have you like out in space. Of course, everyone who doesn't know, that's Shell Games, right?
Shell Games.
Yep.
Just
Shell Games.
Yep.
And they will, so going to have you out in space. It's like an escape the room puzzle game. It's actually regarded as like one of the best games on PSVR that kind of goes under people's radar. I think, I honestly think more people would play it if it was a little bit cheaper. I think the game is great, but
it's also got 3 free
DLCs.
It's gotten 3 free DLCs though.
I was looking into that. What was the first one? Because I know this one before this was Seed of Power.
There was one before that, and I can't remember what it
Oh,
was.
I'm
but
sorry.
I swear this is the third one.
Yeah, no, you are right, because the one before that was on the train. It was crap, I forgot what it's called, but yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, so like, even at full price, it becomes more and more worth picking up because it just gets more content. And I guess this is the last one, but still,
Yeah,
there's a decent amount of fun to be had with that game.
what does this go for right now in the PlayStation Store? I mean, it hasn't dropped in price, right? This is
It's $25
$25 is nothing for the amount of content you're getting now.
now.
yeah,
At launch, though.
For launch, it definitely seemed a little shallow, but I mean, the second they did, First Class was the one on the train.
Right.
The second they got to that, the second they released First Class, it was about 3 times bigger than any of the other levels, and that right there made the $25 price tag justified. It's something that Squanch Games basically said out loud and was very transparent about, saying, "Hey, we are not going to drop the price of Trover Saves the Universe. We're just going to keep
Right.
bringing you free DLC as long as it makes sense for us to do so." Shell Games has adopted that model, but was kind of quieter about it.
Right.
And I kind of respect that, to be honest with you. Like, I would much rather, I think, have a game that I think is worthwhile, price wise, never goes down in price, and we keep getting content for it.
I like the Crisis Brigade model where it's dirt cheap, and then as they add content, you already own it and you get it for free. And then everyone else, once you say like, "Oh, this game is so worth it now," then everybody buys it, and then they got to pay a little bit more because it's got more content. So I like the start with the low cost entry, and then once the game has all the content, then raise the price. I like that model more. Chat, please let us know, which model do you prefer?
Does Billy Goat Catfish, the self-editing game cat, says I want to be the room in those games.
He wants someone inside him trying to escape. He wants a person
No,
in
I
his
think he
body.
wants to just watch. I think he wants to like I've heard so many people talk about like wanting a Saw game in VR, but like I did hear somebody else mention too, like flipping the perspective of instead of being the person escaping, like being the person that like watches.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the deception, make all the traps and stuff.
By the way,
PlayStation 1.
I Expect You to Die is getting tons of love in the chat. So the game cats definitely know what's up. And yeah, I mean, it is just nonstop with that game right now with the love for it. So tons of fans over here, Shell Games.
There's a level of quality to I Expect You to Die that we just don't see terribly often in any PSVR game, or even any game. It's just so solid and awesome voice acting, amazing music. Everything just works. Experimenting in those rooms always results in some little surprise where you're like, I wonder if this is going to work. It's not, but the game developers knew that you were going to try it, and they reward you for trying everything. It's awesome.
It's pretty cool. I'm also looking forward to their other game, Until You Fall. I know that recently just got, I don't know if it's still in early access or if it got released already, full release. I'd imagine it's probably like beta or something, but that game looks pretty fun as well, like a first-person melee combat. So Shell Games doing good stuff over there.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, man, because obviously two very, very different styles of games. Usually if a developer's really good at something, they tend to stick with that. But, I mean, going from Escape the Room to melee combat is wildly different. We've seen very few games that tackle melee well in VR. So I'm curious to see what they can do.
Well, it's like the Mervils devs going from Mervils to fucking Shadow Legend.
They went from awesome to even awesomer. What are you talking about?
I couldn't help but notice we've got Outsource Future Mental in the chat, and it says, great topic. I'm working on a new game and trying to set a good price point.
$12.99.
Depends on what it is.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Is it a VR game? Because we'd be very interested if it was.
$7.99 VR game.
And Just Incredible says, Until You Fall just got a full release for $20. It's really dope and addicting stuff. Just Incredible is my dude. He usually knows what he's talking about. So it's pretty dope and addicting, guys.
He usually knows what he's talking about. And I got the trailer running down here in the corner, and it does look pretty dope. I'll say that.
Yeah. But I was trying to actually look for comments about the pay models that people prefer. I think Orseek's the only person that replied and said, I prefer when the devs are transparent about their update plans.
Yeah.
I prefer devs being transparent about everything.
No, we all do. It's the age that we live in. You say 10 years ago, like no one no one expected to ever hear a word from a developer. That was not shocking at all. But now the times have changed big time. The only recent example I can say where I don't agree with the model is Blind Spot. The problem is when you release a game that's already too high price wise, right? It's that should have been a $20 game or a $25 game, and then they then keep adding to it and make that initial investment that you already felt comfortable with worthwhile, and then not drop the price. I feel like they gave us 2/3 of a game and charged us for the full game. Like I said, I love that game, but it's they just priced it wrong.
I really think Berber Cat says, I agree with you, AJ. Once a game that is balls cheap starts to gain traction, raise the price with extra DLC. It's good for those that bought it in the early stage in the hope of more content. I totally agree, man. By the way, Outsource says, yes, VR cyberpunk first-person shooter. Just take my money.
I was going to say, he knows who he's talking to.
Yes, right? He knows exactly.
He's seen the show before.
I will be following you very soon.
Yeah.
Just take my money. That's the business model I propose to you.
Like, we got that underground guy under our thumb, man. He likes this kind of stuff.
I do. But no, I would definitely say, if you're going to release something small, have it cheap, just like Crisis Brigade, and then you really want to have as strong of a launch as possible, because after launch, the way to get eyes on your game is going to be tougher and tougher the further away it gets from that launch. So
you're going to have to wait for like a huge update where I talked to Des or Jeremy about it in a Why We Love episode. I don't know. That's probably not the right business model.
You definitely want to have as much momentum, as much hype at launch, get your game going, and then completely just like add stuff later and then make it more expensive. And then Bryan will review it, or Bryan will live stream it, and just remember, it's not his review, it's his first impressions.
Yeah. I gotta say, I as much as I respect your opinion, obviously, but I don't agree with the whole keep raising the price model. I think Crisis Brigade is in a very, very unique situation. It's I think great. I think set a good price that's fair and keep delivering content for free. Instead of dropping the price, like you don't keep adding to the price or charge for the DLC. You know what I'm saying? It's.
I think if at a lower price though, people will take more risks. I mean, look at Blind Spot. Like, I don't think Blind Spot is going to sell a whole lot, to be honest with you. And that's actually a pretty decent game. And I think a lot more people bought Spookies because it's $10, even if they weren't as interested as that in Blind Spot.
I will tell you that based on my review numbers, people don't give a fuck about Spookies. I've told them over and over, Spookies is awesome, and everyone's like, nope, not doing it.
Well,
man.
Yeah.
Well, all right. But yes, good luck to you, Shell Games. We are looking forward to this release. I'm sure Bryan and all of us will be playing it, as well as tons of cats, because it gets tons of love. And yeah, Outsource, I will be following you very soon, right after this GAMESCAST. Next up, we have so the numbers came out for Bryan's favorite game of probably all time, Resident Evil 7. They released the sales figures on that, and it has sold 6.8 million copies. Now, in comparison, and don't be too discouraged, Resident Evil 5 and 6 have sold 7.5 million. So some of the stuff I saw said that, like, there was only like 15% of this was purchased for VR. Like, by the numbers, they're saying that 15% is the VR portion. But
that's actually pretty high, though, because the amount of people who have PS4 compared to VR is like 4% of the people. So if 15% of the purchases are...
No, 4% would mean four...
there's 100 million.
I'm sorry, I'm bad at math.
There's
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I'm 100.
It's
it's
really
like
simple.
The easiest math you could probably do. But yeah, no, about 4% of people own a PSVR who have a PS4. But if 15% of people bought Resident Evil for the VR, that's actually a pretty good margin, like between those two.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say, Voidcat the Game Citizen, he says, fuck that GC, right? I bought the shit out of Spookies because that price, no regrets.
$9.99, baby.
Right?
Boyd's my dude.
So good, man. $10. What a great deal. Okay, moving on. Sorry.
I got a bunch of people that's been telling me lately. Duran fan just said they played it and said he actually ran into a couple of motion sickness issues, but there's settings for that, so it was going to tweak the thing. But still said that he was really enjoying it. So
hopefully everyone turned the motion blur off. I cannot believe that it was even set on by default. You turn your head and everything's like just awful. It's awful.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was even an option. Forget about being on by default.
So, Polish Paul, your VR dude, says when PSVR first came out, people bought every new game. Now there is so much choice on the store that people can pick and choose. And I kind of agree. And, that's one thing about a lot of people saying like, oh, it's so slow in PSVR world right now. I got to really ask, like, are you going and picking up some of the games that are like on sale and like that you haven't played yet? Like, I understand it's great to be excited about new stuff, but make sure you go back. I mean, I feel like I have played over 200 games and I still have stuff that I can play and some good stuff. I mean, not so make sure you're not missing out on anything, not just trying to buy the newest, latest, greatest thing. Tons of great games out there. You need to go scope through. But the reason I brought this up was I actually was kind of curious about what you guys think. And this kind of goes hand in hand with the first thing we talked about, this whole shakeup at Sony Studios. And I'm kind of getting the feeling that there's a possibility that they will start releasing some games with both a flat and VR feature, like be able to play it flat and VR. And, I know that's something we said, like, if it's designed for VR, why is there a flat version of it? And I agree, but it just feels like it could be something we run into where, what would you guys think about that? Having games that come out that have the option to play flat or like No Man's Sky, where you can play it in VR and like have Move controllers or new controllers, whatever.
Dude, one of the biggest hurdles we've had this generation is that PlayStation 4, even the Pro, just doesn't have the processing power we need for Lloyd in the basement to flip that switch and just make it happen. Developers are going to adopt VR so much faster when they go, oh, it's kind of integrated into the hardware. PlayStation 5 is built with VR in mind. There's enough processing power where we've taken our game that doesn't max out that doesn't use all the horsepower to play.
Help! You got cold yogurt with the $2 donation. Says Bryan, your speed run made me get the RE7 Platinum.
Hell yes!
But it was a pretty weak speed run. It was just me trying to do it in under 4 hours so I could unlock the saw blade. But thank you very much. It was awesome that I inspired somebody to do anything. I inspired myself to take lots of naps and eat a lot of pizza. So. It
was funny, man, because that guy's Will VR just played Resident Evil 7 on Halloween, and then what did he tell you after? He's like, I can't believe how good this game is. He says, yeah, go ahead.
He says it's the best PlayStation VR game. He said it beats Astrobot. Like immediately, like Will has been with PSVR almost since the beginning, right? And somehow this one got past him.
How did he never play Resident Evil?
Dude, because he's a little scaredy cat. Reason that everyone who hasn't played it yet is it's intimidating. Horror games in VR are really intimidating, but the good ones, especially the good ones like Resident Evil 7, once you get going past a certain point, you're like, oh my God, like this is addicting and fun and stuff. But I remember at first he was like, this is too immersive and stuff. It was really funny actually. But yeah, but yeah, I mean, I really think a lot of horror games are just more intimidating up front. And then once you play them, that's why us that play them love them so much, because we know that once you play them, like it's actually not the worst thing ever.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's like
a couple stressful moments.
Like Resident Evil 7, I started off and I was petrified.
Is that a shout out? Because Petrifying Pumpkins is in the chat.
Speaking of Mr. Petrifying Pumpkins is in the chat, and he says, why are you guys not behind bars yet? That's because we're not finished with you yet, Pump.
I want to let you know, Pumpkins, that my initial plan, if I had more time, I've been busy all day, but I was going to run out and go get a pumpkin, and for the entire episode, just sit here while we were doing the GAMESCAST and just eat it with a gigantic knife.
Ew, eat pumpkin.
Whatever. Whatever. I'd fill it with candy corn or something. It'd be fine.
Oh God, that sounds disgusting.
Anyway, the point is that when we can just flip a switch and make PS5 games automatically VR games, right? That's essential. I know a lot of people complain. They're like, "Oh, why doesn't Resident Evil 7 have move support?" it's okay, man, because the fact is, if Capcom said, "Oh well, we're not going to do this because we don't feel like changing up all the mechanics to integrate move support," I'd much rather have this game with only DualShock 4 support and have it be the best PlayStation VR game out there than not at all, right? And I think that's going to happen a lot more next gen. It's just going to be like, oh, flip that switch, now it's in VR, woohoo!
I think the concept of flipping the switch is kind of unreasonable because, like, you can put games in VR, but you have to redesign the entire UI. You have to redesign all these interactions to actually feel good in VR. And there is no, even if it could render the whole thing in VR somehow, there's no way you could just like have it be a switch that every game gets and you can just flip that switch. It has to be designed specifically by the developer to be able to switch between modes.
I mean, I'm oversimplifying.
And that's awesome, but yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying this because a lot of people do assume that with more power, you could just literally flip a switch and the game would be in VR. And that's totally, that's impossible. It's never going to happen. So.
But I do think it would be really cool to find that sweet spot where they can have games, switch to a VR mode, play the full game in VR. Of course, it would change the either the point of view, the controls. The best example I have right now is No Man's Sky. But I'm hoping to see. We know that the engine for Resident Evil is VR capable. And I think the reason we didn't get RE2, I can think of a couple reasons we didn't get RE2 in VR. But obviously, the most of the success that this has had, which I do think 6.8 million is a success. To put it into perspective, I think David Jaffe, actually, come to speak of the devil, was mentioning Death Stranding, whether it was going to be successful or not, and said that it would probably need to sell around, I think he said like 2 million, maybe 3 million to break even. So this selling at 6 million, obviously, I don't know if Capcom is bigger than. I would think absolutely. Capcom is much bigger, so probably got to adjust it a little there. But by going by those,
much bigger,
made a little bit of profit of it.
Yeah, it's fine. I think this is all good news, right? And hopefully what is actually showing on the screen right now? This is some random. All right, sorry guys. Let's move on. We've talked about sales figures for a while.
So. Abduction, your favorite game ever, actually recently got a new update, and it has a whole new engine. And according to Reddit, it looks much better.
According to one dude on Reddit.
I'm kidding. Okay. Yeah. But no, can you give us some a little bit of details? You got to check it out. Can you give us some details on the Abduction update? Yeah,
absolutely. It's 4 gig. Brought it into a new engine. I checked it out. When I jumped in, I was certainly like, oh yeah, this might look better, and then I was teleporting around and looking at stuff, and I was like, yeah, okay, it's unless you're seeing this side by side, very few people are going to notice an improvement in the graphics, right? It's I think this was just the first of many steps that they've been trying to take to improve this game, especially the VR mode. Even in the patch notes, this is what I find fascinating, that they actually wrote known issues in the patch notes. No full locomotion in VR mode. And then mandatory blinders. They listed both those as known issues, I think for 2 reasons, right? One, to keep everyone off their backs and say, dude, we know. You don't have to tell us. We understand that this is something you want. And also, I think kind of to say that maybe it's something they're working on. I'm curious. I'm hopeful because Abduction's a pretty good game. And to have a full-length Myst style game from the Myst developers in VR with full locomotion and decent PSVR support, I think it would be something a lot of people would be interested in.
Or the GameCat says he would love to have Myst in VR. And Polish Paul says that it looks a little bit better, but not much.
Yeah, okay, so I've never played Abduction ever in any form.
Wow.
So this isn't enough to get me to go out and buy it, right?
Oh my God, no! It's almost identical.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and the big problems really haven't been addressed. They did mention that they reduced some of the loading screens because it was teleport, loading screen, teleport, loading screen, and now it's teleport, loading screen. They added like one extra step in there you could take without doing it.
There you go.
Yeah, and it's still just really janky, and it's just got it just doesn't feel good yet. You know, they do need to add full locomotion, and they need to remove the blinders when you're in the vehicles, in the elevator. It just needs a lot more work, and hopefully this new engine will allow them to do that.
So, just to let people know, actually there is a new game that's being developed right now by the people that made Myst, and it's called Firmament. And I think it was on Kickstarter, and I'm pretty sure it smashed its Kickstarter. So probably not going to see it for a little bit. Yeah. But there is a Myst-like game. In the meantime, go play Zing: The Land Beyond. Zing: The Land Beyond is amazing. Kind of exploration puzzle game like that.
Well, hold on. Also, we need to be very clear that Firmament is made by the same people who made Abduction, who made Myst, who still haven't mastered PSVR support in their games.
Yeah.
In the Kickstarter does say Firmament is going to have PSVR support. It's like, okay,
I'm looking at that now.
I'm like, fine, but fix Abduction first, right?
But here's the thing. It says PS4/PSVR. I feel like they should have just waited for PS5, because if they can't get Abduction looking good, even with a big pro patch that doesn't do anything, just hold off. Make it a PS4 flat game, PS5 VR game.
I totally agree.
And if you already own it, then you get it.
All right, moving on. What do we got next, AJ?
I just want to throw out a little Des Nugget for everybody. The people
Man, I thought I cleaned this place up. I thought I got rid of all the Des Nuggets.
the people that made the audio director for Riven, same people as Myst, not Abduction and stuff, is the audio director for Golem, which comes out in a few weeks, which was delayed.
It comes out sometime between now and 2022.
Yes, sometime between then.
That
confirmed.
That fucking release date, man. Jesus, they need to get
so elusive. Still looking forward to it. Although I really could use gameplay. I really want to see some gameplay on that.
Yeah.
Didn't you see those big slow golems swinging swords real slow? That's the gameplay I saw.
Okay, so I hope you guys strap in, because I've got some exciting news to share with everybody.
Oh, really?
Strapped on. What's up?
This is going to be on Polish Paul's next breaking news.
You scooped Paul? That's not even possible.
No, I said it's going to be on his next one. Angry Birds Isle of Pigs is now getting a level editor, and the only reason I really want to talk about this is because they mentioned that this level editor will be free to try for a limited time. So I want to know who all is going to try this out. I think my guess is Will.
I was going to say Will.
Will's definitely going to do it.
Yep.
Anyone else? Because all I can think of is Will. But
I mean, like physics majors, maybe physics majors or something. Engineers.
I'm just letting you guys aware, because I just don't want you to miss, the golden opportunity of a lifetime to make some levels in Isle of Pigs. Next.
I mean, wait, hold on. But you're skimming over that like it's not that cool or whatever. But Angry Birds VR actually was pretty fun.
Game.
Like, I kind of like Angry Birds Isle of Pigs. So the ability, if you can share them online and stuff and look at people's stages, that could be fun. Kevgret says you can't share your levels online until sometime in 2020, according to the devs.
Luckily, 2020
it's almost 2020 anyways.
Right. Although winter 2020 is very far away, Kevgret. Winter 2019, I think, is almost here.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Doesn't feel like it in Florida. We got a few nice days of like 69 degrees, breezy, and now it's back to like 95, no breeze.
Yeah, by the way, AJ,
it's miserable today.
I know Polish Paul already called you out in the chat, but he totally already covered this story, man.
I knew I had seen it already.
I'm surprised. Yeah. Honestly, I'm disappointed, Paul. I thought you would have covered this like a year and a half ago. So, you're falling behind, bud. You're getting old and slow.
really slacking off.
But no, I totally am just kidding around, guys. I think it's actually a pretty good game. It was my first ever Angry Birds experience. Actually, the second one which was not the best. But, it's not a traditional game.
So not actually an Angry
I like
Birds
this one.
game.
I thought it was really cool that they had the DLC. I'm pretty sure the DLC was free. And, the main game itself was not very challenging. But when I played the Island of Dead Pigs or whatever,
Is that what it was called?
I don't think it was called the Island of Dead
Pigs?
Pigs.
I don't know what it's called.
This is a game for kids, AJ.
I'm really not good with Angry Birds games. Like I said, it took me like 20 years of it being out to play it for the first time. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's, but actually good.
Oh,
Spooky
Zing.
spooky update. Spooky update. The Revenge of Dr. Frankenstein.
The Revenge of Dr. Frankenstein. It was all right. It was actually really challenging, which I liked for that reason. So, but yeah, just keep an eye out for that update. And like I said, if you're into level editing and stuff, I could actually see making levels of that being pretty fun. I just don't have that kind of time really, but I could see it being entertaining. But if you got the time, more power to you. So now we are going to talk about a game that just came out this week. And it is the latest addition to the rhythm games.
Oh,
and I am excited to dive into this one. And it is going to be called
Audica. I was just about to take my restroom break, but now we're talking about Audica, so god damn it. I have to stay. I want to be here for the whole conversation.
No, I mean, stay here.
You can stay.
Let it go.
Just get a mayonnaise jar or something.
Just soil yourself.
Get a mayonnaise jar. Is this from experience? Have you peed in a full mayonnaise jar before?
I have
half a whole mayonnaise jar.
I have
maybe
peed
like
while driving.
Oh god.
I've peed while driving and in whatever receptacle has been available.
I don't think I could pee while I was driving. I don't know if I could get away with that.
I'm pretty
I did
talented
pee
in the car.
I peed in a Gatorade bottle at a Radiohead concert because I knew if I went to the bathroom, I would never find my friends again. We were on the lawn, and it was just like this mass of people. And I was like, if I leave, I'm not seeing them until after the concert.
I have definitely lost my friends at similar venues. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, people make a wall in front of me. I'm going to pee in this Gatorade bottle. And I just left it on the ground. That's my story.
So what'd you think about Audica, Dave, before you pee or something?
Well, I don't want to go first, actually. I want to go second or last because I know we have some differing opinions here, and I want to be able to counterpoint.
I had to let my internet connection jump back up to speed real quick. So I'm good to go now.
Okay.
So obviously, I'm a big fan of Beat Saber, big fan of I really like Beats Fever. I like rhythm games in general. This one brings a new take on it in that it's a shooting game. It's not, we've had ones where you slice stuff. We've had ones where you catch stuff. This is a brand new one. And I got to tell you, man, like this game's music selection is what really sells it for me.
The soundtrack is better than Beat Saber, I think. It's more varied. There's more genres and there's more songs at launch.
I have to agree with you. And just like my good buddy Marcusor puts in the comments, all we become. They have some love for Transistor. That was such a nice surprise. Gold Dust is an awesome song.
God, I fucking love Gold Dust.
It's such a happy song.
It's been stuck in my head all day. I played it like 3 times on stream.
This game doesn't really have the presentation or.
Well, it is very slick.
It's
very
smooth,
polished.
what it is, but it's not like flashy. You know what I mean? It's not like. It's more about the gameplay and mastering the gameplay. I've actually ramped up to, after one day, I was able to jump to advanced difficulty. And
that shit is hard, though.
No surprises. It's AJ.
It seems very hard at first, but it actually, just like Beat Saber was really hard at first, it just becomes kind of second nature after a while. And these things can be really overwhelming at first. But yeah, I mean, after a while, you go back to it the next day and you're like, this, I don't remember this being this easy and stuff. And, it's kind of a muscle memory thing. It just plays completely different. So,
the thing for me is the difficulty spike is different in Audica because, in Beat Saber, you recognize certain patterns and essentially everything is just coming at you directly and you have to hit it faster or hit it in a certain way. With Audica, they introduced different kinds of notes that you've never seen before, and stuff is coming from everywhere in songs. They have unique patterns per song. You're not going to see a specific flourish in one song and be like, oh, I've done this before in a different song with the mapping. It's all over the place.
Different. It is.
So it's. I think that initial difficulty leap is more intense than Beat Saber because there's new mechanics that you have to implement. It's not just still swinging the same swords in a different way. You have to change it up. So
Robert Bateman says, first and foremost, please can we stop comparing Audica to fucking Beat Saber?
You know what?
I mean,
you know what? Hold on a second.
Very different. It's very different because
it is different.
It's more of a traditional rhythm game to me.
You know what we should do? We should stop comparing it to Beat Saber and compare it to the thing that it's really fucking like, because it's actually the exact same game as Starship Disco.
No, it's not.
It's Starship Disco. That's all it is. Starship
Bryan,
Disco.
If you don't like Audica that much and you think it's just Starship Disco,
I love Starship Disco.
Well, so first of all, that means you're crazy because Starship Disco is just junk. It's like to me, it's a bargain bin shit. Like it's okay. It's an okay game.
But you're saying there's no parallels between
just because you shoot stuff. Just because you shoot stuff.
Because you're shooting stuff in rhythm with two different color guns and two different color targets. Gee, I can't fucking figure out where the comparison might lie, Dave.
Okay, well that's fine. I'm just saying, like as a game, as a presentation, the music, the way stuff is mapped, the different types of notes that you have. It's like if I don't know, if fucking Starship Disco is an embryo. And this is like a full-grown 30-year-old fucking young CEO of a company.
Absolutely.
Like this is you know what I'm saying? It's a much different implementation of a similar concept. You shoot stuff with a gun, but it's like I don't know. Pistol Whip has the same idea too. Is Pistol Whip Starship Disco? Like
does Pistol Whip have two different color guns and two different color targets?
No, all right.
And the point is to shoot things in rhythm on time with
you
circles
are
that close
in rhythm on time in Pistol Whip too.
You are okay. I was actually curious about that because I haven't played Pistol Whip yet.
Game, supposedly,
what's funny,
it's way too expensive. It's $25 for 10 songs.
So for those that did pick it up, we're getting lots of love for Audica in the chat, and I gotta agree, man. I'll tell you the weirdest comparison that I have with the game, and somebody actually I think said this on your stream, and I was thinking this when I was playing it, not watching it. But somebody made a comparison to Space Pirate Trainer. And I was like, this does feel like Space Pirate Trainer in a way. Because you're stationary, but you can like move around a little bit. What I love though is like, you know, on standard, it was actually pretty fun. Like, because you're still just getting to grips with like just the regular gameplay aspect of it. You're getting to enjoy the music. Of course, there's 5 levels you can unlock. And then what's up?
Gabriel the Game Cat has the best comparison I've seen so far.
Oh, nice.
He says Starship Disco is candy corn, Audica is real food. And that is exactly right, Gabriel. I couldn't
that works
have said it better myself.
That works incredible. For me. I wasn't saying that Starship Disco was a great game. I definitely enjoyed it when it came out, but man, it is the same mechanics, hands down, same formula.
It's not the same mechanics at all.
I don't understand.
Is there a part in Starship Disco where you hold one hand down and swing it around to modulate the shit, and then there's other stuff that you got to swing your other hand and then shoot? And
as you said, it's an evolution of the genre, but it's the exact same thing. It's not an
evolution from Starship Disco. It's its own thing that they conceived of.
I'm starting to think that maybe you never played Starship Disco if you don't see the comparisons here.
That's why I'm staying quiet. I just saw a little bit of gameplay. I'm just
saying Starship Disco sucks.
That's fine. That's fine, but it's the same exact formula. Like they both start at the same place, and they go slightly different places. That's all.
Slightly different?
Yes, slightly different places.
I just want to appreciate Audica for itself.
Brian, if you're saying that Starship Disco is only slightly different from Audica,
they go slightly different places.
I don't know
but they definitely start with the same core mechanics. 2 different color guns, rhythm shooter, 2 different color targets. I don't understand like where the disconnect is here.
I'm just fucking saying, man, like
one can be drastically better than the other, but it's the same core mechanics.
So anyways, I love the variety of music in this game. I love the song selection.
I'll come back and then I need to cool down for a second.
It's really cool. It's really cool. I love how, you know, like I said, you start out just like shooting left and right, of course. There's the colors. Eventually, once you ramp up in the difficulty, you start turning the gun to the side. Like it'll have targets that you turn to the side and stuff. And it's pretty challenging, man. I'll tell you one of my favorite parts about this game, though, is that the tricks with the guns. I love spinning the guns and throwing them up while you're playing. That's something that I actually wish Beat Saber had, was that like you could like throw the sabers and then come back and catch them and slice stuff. But then, like you said, there's the campaign mode. Now, I'll tell you what I don't like about this game: the season pass. I think the price $29.99 I'm okay with for the base game. It comes with 28 songs. 4 or 5 exclusives. I think 4 exclusives, one including that Transistor song that I am absolutely in love with. And then, then they have the DLC packs. The DLC packs for 5 songs is $8.99. I have a problem with that. I'm not the biggest fan of 5 songs for $8.99, and I definitely don't ever want to see season passes in my VR games. Season passes are something that I've bought once in my life, only bought one, and it burned me. And I look at other season passes that have gone around, and I absolutely despise season passes. I refuse to buy them. What I will do instead is just, if there's an individual song that I want, I will buy that song. But I hate season passes, and I will not buy it. However, the base game, totally happy with. Totally love the game. Totally cool with it.
I just want to come back to this real quick, because the thing that drives me crazy is that, Brian, that I know that you like Starship Disco and would recommend it, but you don't.
I don't know
like
if I'd recommend it. I don't know if I'd recommend Starship Disco.
Here's what I'm saying. I know that you like it.
Yeah.
And I feel like what I've gotten from you so far is that you don't really like Audica that much. And that's the part that fucking blows my mind.
I haven't spent enough time with Audica to render that kind of decision, Dave.
I could spend 2 seconds with Starship Disco and be like, this is not nearly as fucking good as Audica.
If you want my initial impressions on Audica, I think it doesn't feel that great. I think that the
Starship Disco feels like shit.
Do you want my impressions on Audica or Starship Disco? Do you want me to my impressions on the game I spent $50 on yesterday, or the game that's like $8?
Why did you spend $50 on it? It was only $35. Okay.
Because, I don't know, Dave, I run a PlayStation VR YouTube channel. I feel like I should probably play the games that come out for it and all of the content.
Well, I'm going to get it if it's good, the DLC.
Dave, I don't like the graphics. Okay, so my initial impressions are bad because the presentation in Audica just isn't all that great. The backgrounds are these flat 2D wraparound, like just static images, and that don't do anything special. Everything, I don't know. There's no impact when I'm shooting things. It's really.
What do you mean there's no impact when you're shooting things? There's vibration really, like the whole time. It's vibrating with the song when you shoot stuff.
It just doesn't feel very impactful to me. Like my first impressions aren't that positive. But Dave, like I said, I've spent only like an hour and a half with it. So I'm not here to say fucking hate Audica, because I don't. I haven't had enough time to actually say what I think about Audica yet. So I don't want to sit here and like bash on it. I want to say my first impressions weren't that positive, and hopefully they'll get better as I get better with the game and get to more advanced levels. A lot of people have said more advanced levels are where it's at, and I'm not there yet, so I can't say anything. I'm just
even on standard, it's incredible. It's very fun. I don't know what you missed.
If you think it's fun on standard, then I'm going to say right now I don't think it's a very fun game on standard. Like that's the only comparison I can make with you.
I did think it was fun on standard because I thought it was pretty challenging. I had to learn the gameplay. But yeah.
Cloak Reaper Game says you can change the level of vibration in the settings. These are things I need to know because like I would blast that, man.
There is a lot of customization.
Really like Justin says, the vibration mixed with the sound gives me this intense, deep sensation of shooting something and succeeding, which is kind of exactly the opposite of what you said, but how I feel too. So I don't know, different strokes.
No, absolutely. I'm not...
Do you think, Brian? Can I ask you something? Yeah. Do you think you would have enjoyed it more if you spent $30 instead of $50?
I would spend, dude. I mean, I think.
Did that affect it at all?
I mean,
because I feel like I dodged a big bullet not spending that extra $20.
You know what's funny, man, is when people, I always get a laugh when people go, "Oh, the developers sent you this game for free, so of course you're going to like it more because you didn't have to spend money on it."
Yeah, no, we buy most of our games. We joke around all the time.
Yeah, and so basically, when as far as games go, I'm broke, man. Like I'm fucking living on a ramen noodle diet, right? I have to live a very inexpensive life to be able to do what I do, right? So, but PSVR games have this separate thing in my brain where it's like, okay, it doesn't matter how much it costs or when it comes out or whatever.
Right.
I spent about $75 on Torn because I had to buy it twice, once in Australia and once in the US.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
It is.
I spent $15 on a game last night. I can't wait to talk about. But you're gonna like this one.
So money. So as far as PSVR games go, money doesn't matter to me because I automatically buy them without thinking about the cost, and only when it comes down to reviewing the game do I consider the cost. And I haven't reviewed this game yet. I just say it does. The presentation feels like a $15 game It has.
Oh my God, are you
It has,
serious?
I am serious. It has what it
I
does.
get-
What it
I
does,
get-
where the money
it's the
comes
most
in, is
polished.
because it's got a ton of tracks, right? And it's
Well,
like
okay, there is that, but
it's packed with music, licensed music, and so that's where the money comes from. And I understand that they have to charge $30. They have to charge for the extra season pass. But as far as I'm concerned, I think the presentation is not very impressive at all.
I think it's the most polished presentation wise as far as rhythm games go, besides Beat Saber. There is no other rhythm game on PSVR that's nearly as polished as Audica.
What are the games that
And-
we're comparing it to? I mean, I know like
The only other
some
one I
like
compare
$10
it to
games.
is like Thumper. Thumper is the only other one that could
Ooh.
be
Yeah, Thumper
like
is really
close.
polished. I'll take it back.
Yeah.
Thumper
yeah,
is really
I'd give
good.
it to Thumper.
But Res Infinite stuff like that, yeah. Like I wouldn't definitely not Beats Fever.
Well, I
Beats
was
Fever.
thinking, yeah, Beats Fever and Starship Disco and that stuff is what I was thinking.
The
of.
more
Like
that
the $10 budget games, yeah, sure, it's better than that.
Yeah.
Listen, this game is, if you get over the fact that you think the background's boring. Now, first of all, I think the background's boring in a rhythm game is kind of a bullshit
I talked about
Because-
presentation. That's all I was talking about.
Well, no, but the presentation of like when the things are coming in and where they come in from and how they look when you shoot them and that sort of stuff, and the sensation you get from holding a thing down and seeing like the Ghostbusters streams and like moving them all around and stuff. I feel like the presentation is actually very polished and not like a cheapo budget game. Like it feels like a harmonics game to me. And every time you shoot, there's like these good particle effects, like fireworks, like every time you hit a target. And I don't know, I feel like the background is totally ignorable. I don't even notice it because there's so much shit flying at my face that I got to deal with that I would rather not have a big shit's going on background. Because in Beat Saber, the background can twist and do all kinds of weird color changes because you're always looking directly in front of you and nothing ever strays from that. So you know exactly where to keep your focus and anything else is peripheral. In this, if there was shit going on everywhere and it was like really 3D and like, oh, look at this thing over there, look at this thing over there, I wouldn't be able to keep up with this stuff coming from my left side, my left bottom, my right top. Like it uses the entire play space as a potential area to play with, which makes it so much different and unique compared to even Starship Disco, because Starship Disco, the shit is coming on a straightforward track, you know? And Beat Saber, it's just a track in front of you. In this game, it's like if you guys ever played Hatsune Miku games, that shit will come from over here, it'll come from over here, it swirls around, like it's all over the place. And that's what this reminds me of. And it keeps you guessing. I just fucking really like Audica. And the soundtrack is better than Beat Saber's soundtrack.
I do love the soundtrack.
Dave, but we're not supposed to compare it to Beat Saber, dude.
No, it says I have not played Audica yet, but I have watched a few streams and can say that it is a boring game to watch. I will absolutely
It doesn't look
say
as good on stream.
it does not
it's
look
more
as
fun
fun
in person.
It definitely is a lot more fun to play, just like any game, but still some games are really fun to watch playing.
Yeah.
This game is really fun to play, in my opinion. It's hard to make it. When I did a video on the Transistor song, actually, like last night, and like I did it once with just shooting the targets, and I was like, man, I love this song, but this is boring as hell to watch. So I spent like an hour and a half recording the song while doing tricks the entire time to try and make it a little bit more like easy to watch, because Beat Saber is just all over the place with the presentation. It makes it easier to watch. And like I said, I'm not comparing those games. I think they're very different, but I think there's certain things that I like about one over the other. Like I said, I really like, and you guys have any final thoughts on Audica?
Yeah,
Obviously, Brian, you want to play it some more, get some more thoughts on it for your review. But go ahead, Dave.
The one thing I want to say that I don't think we've covered yet is that to me, Audica feels a lot more like a traditional rhythm game than Beat Saber does, because it actually counts your timing. Like, Dance Dance Revolution, most of these classic rhythm games give you like a perfect, good, bad, that sort of thing. Audica actually times you on when you hit the rhythm, and Beat Saber doesn't care when you hit it. Beat Saber cares about the angle of your slice and where you slice it. And you can be totally off time and it doesn't matter. With this game, you actually have to be on the rhythm exactly to get it right.
Well,
which to me is a lot more
like miss
like
the block if you weren't even close to the rhythm.
No, that's not true. I've hit stuff that's passing behind me before, or going to my side. Like you can be late and still get a slice in. And so this to me, especially with the post game stats, That is incredible. The way that they break down like your timing on a bar chart, and they show you how good your aim was on like a shooting range target. That stuff is really cool, and it seems like the scoring is a lot closer to an actual rhythm game, like a classic rhythm game. And I like that. It's different from Beat Saber, and it's cool. It's got its own thing going on.
Yeah. I mean, closing thoughts is that, again, the only reason we even got into this debate is because, you guys forced me to discuss it.
I mean, we have to talk about all the games that came out.
Yeah, no, and again, I'm very, very much looking forward to getting better at Audica and playing it on harder levels and seeing some of the songs that I purchased in this, not only for launch day, but the season pass that comes out. I just want to get better at it, man, and then I'll be able to look past some of the things that I don't enjoy so much. There's been plenty of games with bad presentation, or I know you guys like the presentation, but there's been plenty of them.
I feel like
go ahead.
I don't know where you're getting bad presentation from. Everything about the game looks clean and polished, and it's got a ton of songs. The menus are fine. Like what do you mean? What is the problem with
that he doesn't think
presentation?
What he means like that? It's not necessarily bad presentation. It's just.
Well, that's what he said.
If you something, I know, but what he means by that is that it doesn't have this like flashy, grab you right away presentation. It has
every time you shoot a thing, there's fireworks.
I know, but it's like a bunch of little particle dust that comes up at first. What makes the game great isn't necessarily the presentation. It's not the backgrounds. It's not the thing. It's the gameplay that's really fun first.
Yeah, you're right.
And then it becomes once you get further into the game, you stop even caring about what it looks like because it's just fun to play and the music is great. And then like you start to appreciate when there's a shit ton of stuff going on when you really start to appreciate the background and everything, because you need the background to be basic because you have so much shit flying at you that if you had any like background stuff going on, it would be like impossible to tell what was going on. It's 100%. Already hard enough. Yeah. So that's what he means by that. So that doesn't, when you play it at the beginning,
I feel like that's what you mean by that, and I agree with you. I don't know if that's what Bryan meant by that, because he's not the one.
That is because we talked about it, and so like I know exactly what I was meaning to say. But yeah, everyone's asking about Your Long Shadow says no immediate WoW impact doesn't equal bad representation. Yeah. So. Okay.
That did not mean to do what I just did here. I'm sorry. I basically what I'm trying to say, what I've been trying to say this entire time, right, is that I don't have enough impressions of the fucking game. I played it for an hour and a half, and I feel as though I am not prepared to even be in this discussion, right? But here we are. Right?
Okay.
So like I'm looking forward to next week's conversation where I say, hey guys, I played more Audica and I can't wait to tell you how I feel about it now because do you know why I play games from start to finish twice before I do a review? Because I want to have fucking proper impressions of the game. I don't have proper impressions of Audica.
Well, but the thing is, when I started playing,
Christ.
No, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, fine. No, whatever.
I can't wait to see how we can drag out this conversation even further.
Yeah, I really want to move on to Beat Saber, man.
All I'm saying is last fucking thing.
Yeah. Last fucking thing.
As soon as I started playing it, I was enjoying myself. So if you haven't got that yet, you probably never will.
Maybe it's not for me then. It's totally possible it's not for me, but I'm still not even at that point to say this game's not for me yet. So give me some time, man, and I will definitely be back and hopefully have a... Yeah, it's not every game is for everybody. Des said it on his very first Litterbox. Not everything is for you, and this might just not be for me.
So, actually, I want to get on to Beat Saber real quick. Audica to me is fine. Just don't buy the season pass. In my opinion, I've spent several hours with it now.
I thought we were talking about Beat Saber. What happened?
No, I know. I just wanted to say that though, is that if you're gonna get Audica, don't get the season pass. Just buy the game by itself, and then buy one of the DLC songs if you like one of those songs. But avoid season passes. Don't support that shit. But the game itself is fine.
So Beat Saber.
So Beat Saber had a Monster Cat and Rocket League DLC pack today, and I'm so excited to talk about this. I don't know if you guys had a chance to play it yet, but I want to hear all my love for Rocket League in the chat. I played this game on PS3 back in the day, Bryan, called Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Powered Battle Cards, and it was the original Rocket League.
I've never heard of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
supersonic. But it was like this game that would like always go on sale, and it took me forever, and I finally bit and bought it, and it was awesome. It was soccer with rocket powered cars, had like demolition derby modes, had power ups, had like turbo that you recharged and stuff. And man, so this update, needless to say, was really exciting for me. I've been talking about, God, Beat Saber needs to stop just going with the person that has the highest followers on Twitter, and you know these bands that are just really popular. Like, I get it, that's a smart business model, but you're pissing us off that don't really like popular music just because it's popular. We like music for different reasons. I of course like other music as well, that's not popular. And to throw something obscure like the Rocket League soundtrack, I've also been saying I've wanted them to mix in some like PS4 like Tetris Effect or something. I'm totally happy with Rocket League. It's not something that's probably popular, but man, they definitely got on my good side today, because I really, even though it wasn't Hollywood Principle and some of the original songs that I absolutely adored, I still really, I think all but one of these songs I really enjoyed, and I thought the mapping was good. I've heard some mixed things on the mapping. I thought the mapping on Expert and Expert Plus was fine. It was challenging. It was fun. Like, it was making me do these weird movements that I haven't done before in Beat Saber. And, you know, like I said, I think this is a must-have for any Rocket League fans out there. It's got the Rocket League vibes when it comes to the music. And on the flip side, Rocket League also got a Beat Saber update, which I thought was pretty cool.
Sounds good.
So overall, I think this DLC I liked. I liked half the songs, which is more than I can say about the Imagine Dragons DLC or the Panic at the Disco DLC. And it's my favorite one since the original Monster Cat one.
Yes.
Especially because some of these actually are going out in new directions. Like, somebody was talking about the saxophone song. Yes. I love that song. It sounds like, I was talking to somebody earlier, and it sounds like
so different.
You know, it sounds like a sitcom intro, but like an electronic remix or something. But I fucking love it. It's so good. It's so smooth and really fun to play. And I think 3 of the 6 songs do something a little different, and I really liked. The other 3 are just sort of like basic dubstep, Beat Saber, EDM shit.
They still had like I said, they still had that little bit of Rocket League like nostalgia for me. So even though they were like the EDM stuff, I still had like some kind of connection with it. So
yeah,
it was nice.
My friend who I played Rocket League with always turns the music off, so I've never heard any of those songs.
Oh man, missing out, dude. Missing out. Hollywood Principle makes some awesome songs on there. And obviously, when I first saw this, I was so excited. Then I saw I saw the song list, and I was like, I'm like, man, Beat Saber really struggles to just pick the right songs, it seems, for their music and for the game. But after playing these, I kind of had like a jolt of memory and was like, okay, I remember these songs. These songs feel and sound like Rocket League to me, and that's good enough. And I don't know if Monster Cat actually worked on the Rocket League soundtrack. I'm not actually aware if they did, but
did they like remix the songs for this DLC or something, or?
I actually don't know. I don't remember, because it's been a while since I played Rocket League. But absolutely love that guy. Poured so many hours into it. Got to a level 50 master. Got to was like up in the rankings somewhere at one point. Love the DeLorean. Love the Sweet Tooth car. And got all my friends addicted to that game. And just, I want to see more PlayStation collabs in Beat Saber. I want to see like Tetris Effect, or
Tetris Effect would be awesome. Yeah.
Like, just like how I said, I loved how Audica put in Transistor. This was like the perfect like counterpoint to that, is to put in Rocket League, another one of my favorite PS4 indie games, showing some love. And like I said, this may not be as popular as Panic at the Disco and stuff, but trust me, the gamers, the core gaming audience, is going to appreciate this a lot more, for sure. I'm one of them.
Yeah, I think this is the best, like I said, the best DLC since Monster Cat, first one. And maybe, I mean, it's less songs, but there's some that I really, really like in here. So, Bryan, what did you think? You haven't said anything yet.
Oh, because I haven't played it.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
But I will say, hearing you guys talk about it and seeing a little bit of AJ's attempt at a stream on Without Parole this morning, despite some horrible connection issues, I felt so bad, AJ. I was like, come on, I'm just like watching it freeze. I was like, come on.
I took off work today to do it. And yeah, like I explained at the beginning of the videos, I apologize. Thank you so much to everyone who joined the stream. But a garbage truck, yes, a garbage truck.
Actual garbage truck.
Ran into my telephone pole at my house. I'm barely holding on to bandwidth right now, literally by threads. So, I mean, I could just drop off at any second right now. Luckily, the game gods have blessed us tonight and allowing this Gamecast to be. But I will eventually revisit those. But I played them afterward, and I really, really enjoyed them. And I want to see, definitely Beat Saber is definitely finding ways to grab me as a core gamer back into the game and giving me some great incentive. Don't even care that I paid $8.99 for it. Absolutely love it.
Oh yeah, it was a good price for what we got, I think.
So I was going to say is that, like hearing you guys talk about it and seeing part of the stream and knowing that there's some, real variety in the track listing is something that I'm really, really, really looking forward to checking out. I will be totally honest with you. There was a point this morning where I was like, I think this might be the first piece of Beat Saber DLC I'm not going to buy. I'm not going to download.
What?
Because
I
wasn't
Panic at the Disco, but you're not going to buy this?
I like Panic at the Disco, and I only played Rocket League for about 3 hours ever. So
these songs are better than the Panic at the Disco songs.
I will probably give that to you because without even hearing all of the Rocket League ones, because the Panic at the Disco ones they chose for a band that I used to like are newer songs, and I don't like their newer albums. So yeah. I'm excited. I'm actually like I was kind of thinking about passing on this, but I'll definitely check it out now. You guys have swayed me enough. I'm happy to hear that they've made some good choices.
Speaking of Panic at the Disco and Beat Saber, I'm going to rave a little bit more about this Rocket League pack. But in the meantime, guys, we have a giveaway to everyone who entered PSVR this week. We have one EU code and one North America code for the Panic at the Disco DLC pack, complimentary of Beat Game Studios. Thank you guys so much.
Did we choose winners?
No.
I choose them right now?
Go ahead and choose it right now. Yeah. I'm gonna talk to the chat for a minute while you guys get that.
AJ, let me tell Dave one thing first. Dave, okay. the first when you do your search through the comments, the first one that shows up, whether it's North America or EU, doesn't matter. That will be the winner for that region.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
We don't have to do North America first or anything like that. All right, AJ. So sorry.
So, JB, my dude, aka Great Tantrum, says, so the song mapping is great on this new DLC. Nub Plays says it's okay. I actually really liked it on Expert and Expert Plus. I thought Expert was very challenging. It threw some very new creative things at me. I love it when this game gets creative. I'm sitting there having to swing one arm way high up in the air, one arm down. And then it's got, one thing they did too is I had like a lot of ducking and moving. And then they had those mines. You remember the mines that I was saying from the beginning? Where are these mines? Why aren't these mines in more songs? It had more of those. So just in one song alone, it threw so many different things at me that I really enjoyed. And the Expert Plus is challenging. I wasn't able to get through each one on the first try, like some of the past DLCs, but they're not impossible either. So it's really awesome to see new mapping. I think the mapping was great. And Delirium Drew says, Tantrum Dave is right. It's the best It's the best since Monster Cat DLC 1. I would agree. Let's see. Justin Krebel says, I will take new tracks for Beat Saber any day as long as it is commercial crap artist. I agree. I don't have anything against the commercial crap artists, and they're not crap, they're popular for a reason. People really like them. So.
Hold on. Are you talking about Imagine Dragons and those new Panic at the Disco songs?
Sure, why not?
I like Imagine Dragons.
People like the band. Just because you don't like them doesn't mean they're crap.
No,
I don't like them either. I'm not going to say they're crap.
Here's what I'm saying. People who don't. This is going to sound like me being a dick, but I'm sorry. I worked in a record store for 4 years, so I'm kind of a dick about music. People who don't care about music like Imagine Dragons.
Right, because they like something casual to listen to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the shit you'll hear. I've said this before. It's like the playlist for a grocery store. Like that no one will be offended. It'll be a little bit catchy, whatever.
You know
it's
what
like
it is?
soulless fucking corporate dumbass polished.
I mean, to some degree,
I don't know. It's
I
not.
kind of,
There's nothing in it to me that makes
It's
the
very
reasons I like music. And this is fine because it's a rhythm game. So like, I didn't go around saying DDR had great music in it. I just liked playing DDR.
Yeah.
So it's fine in the rhythm game context, but I don't think that is good music. But I have the first winner.
Who's the first
You guys
winner?
want to do that? This is a guy named Thuan Ta, THUAN space TA, and his PSN name is THUANTTA. Easy enough. And he's from the U.S. region. He says, "Love the content and keep it up, guys." So we get our U.S. winner.
Congratulations.
For the not Imagine Dragons. Fucking, you know what it is. Brian, tell him what he won.
He won the Panic at the Disco DLC. The shit that you're saying is garbage. He won. The first piece of garbage goes out to no. Thank you very much, Beat Games, for supplying these keys. They are not garbage.
Absolutely.
Preferences aside, and congratulations to one in the U.S. for winning that. Dave, can you please copy and paste that so I can contact him after the show?
I already put it in the Discord chat.
And are you searching for the next?
I'm ready for the European one.
Let's do it, man.
Ready to do it right now.
Let's do it.
So this is Scott Gamer 28. He says, "Beat Saber is my favorite game. My PSN is Scott Gamer 28, and I'm European."
All right.
Lots of
Scott and
suspicious capitalization in this one.
It's crazy that Scott Gamer, his last name is like the thing he's most passionate about. He's like, I'm a gamer, and my last name happens to be Gamer.
Yeah,
it's weird, man. It's like calling me Bryan Masturbation. It's a very strange last name to have, but it fits me so perfectly. Dave, have you seen? I know you haven't, but I'm just gonna throw this out there. Have you seen the documentary Believer?
What's it about? I think I might have actually. It's about like a cult religious thing, or no? What is it?
It's about the lead singer of Imagine Dragons, basically taking on the Mormon Church for gay rights.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's fine.
And
why would you even bother taking on the Mormon Church for gay rights, though? Because it's fucking Mormon Church. Like, you gonna take them on?
Wait, hold on a second. We don't want to go deep down this rabbit hole. I just want to say that I didn't have any interest in Imagine Dragons. I watched that documentary, and I was like, oh, okay, this guy's kind of cool. And then the DLC came out for Beat Saber, and I was like, oh, these songs are kind of getting in my head. And just like Beat Saber does so well. I don't love them, but I definitely appreciate them much more than I ever thought I would. Yeah, also a great documentary for anyone who's interested. That is really insightful.
For the record, I liked Imagine Dragons before. I liked them when they were doing Radioactive for the commercial of the Defiance video game on PS3.
Are you the guy saying I like this band before they were cool? That was Dave for all 4 years of his record shop.
What I love, there's a guy in chat who I think has never been to a GAMESCAST before. Charmy Thebe. He says, "So are you like gonna play a game or what? So is they gonna play the game or is just sits there?
We just sit there.
We just sit there.
Yeah.
We just sit there. That's all it is. This is what the show is. You're talking about games.
I'm actually playing a game in the bottom left corner right now.
I've got my Switch below the camera.
There's plenty of videos if you want to watch any of us play a game. Yeah. It's just not this one.
This isn't it. So.
No, I really am playing right now in the bottom left corner. That's me.
Yeah, that is you.
I've been doing Candy Crush this whole time.
This is this clip playing for anyone who is new to the show. This is AJ killing it on Expert Plus, as he likes to do, to the embarrassment of the rest of us.
Brian, we have someone in the chat by the name of George Denaris.
Hi,
says,
George.
"Hello, Brian Paul. We met for the interview of Intruders Hide and Seek. Just needed to tell
George.
you, I love what you do, and you are also a great human being and communicator. Keep rocking, and much love."
Still, George, that's still one of my favorite developer interviews ever. I remember finishing that interview and going, "What a nice guy!" Like, just like you can just tell. I think it helped that George reminded me of one of my best friends from college, Olivier. Thank you very much for that interview, and thank you for hanging out on the channel long afterwards.
It was a great interview too. He was really good at talking about it and stuff.
Intruders Hide and Seek, man. Go check out that Why We Love episode.
Yes. The developer interview too. Yeah. And the Why We Love. Yeah. You did the Why We Love recently too.
Yeah, with Jeremy. So I think his first Jeremy episode.
Jeremy sold me by saying Barrett was in the game from Final Fantasy VII. And you guys are like, don't play that game because you think Barrett's going to be in it. I'm like, but I have to.
So random.
But yeah, that was a great interview. Yeah. So definitely check that out. But Dave, before we move on, there was another rhythm game while we're on the subject of rhythm game that you wanted to talk about, and it's supposed to be coming to PSVR, and that's going to be called Synth Riders. Please
That is correct.
tell us about Synth Riders.
Now, I'm not going to go super in depth, and I know neither of you guys have had a chance to try this yet. Although, Bryan, it's on Quest. If you want a code, they'll probably send you one.
I'm going to grab the trailer
Hold
for
the
it
trailer
right now, so people can see what you're talking about, Dave.
It's kind of an unusual one because, Audica, you're shooting stuff. Beat Saber, you're slicing stuff. In this one, you're literally just positioning your hands in a certain way, and you're kind of just like literally riding the beat. Like you put your right arm here, and you hold it, and you move down slightly, and you put your left arm here, and you move it down.
So it's
slightly.
one of those catching ones. Another one of those. Like...
It's the thing it reminds me most of is Airtone, which is in the Japanese store only.
Still not here. That was supposed to come out a while ago, wasn't it?
Airtone is much better than Synth Riders.
No way, because that's on the Japanese store, and I was looking at that considering it. I still have some yen left over, so I might.
I'm gonna get some.
Pick that up?
Get some pushback from this because all the people in the chat are saying Synth Riders looks dope. Synth Riders is legit. Synth Riders is a lot of fun on Quest. I played it, and I thought it was lame and boring, and I didn't have any fun with it. I just didn't think that the presentation was very good. I didn't think that the gameplay felt that fun. I didn't enjoy the. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I didn't feel the rhythm game aspect of it because it's literally just going like this and like moving one hand like this, and there's no sort of hitting stuff on the beat. You're just sort of guiding it around like this. And the other thing that really fucked me up is that they use 4 different colors, and orange and green are 2 of them. And I'm colorblind. And so in the heat of the moment, I can't tell the difference between the orange and the green. And so for me, it was really hard to play as a colorblind person because I'm trying to keep track of 4 different colors, and there's no options that I could see to like change that. It just seems like it's default. There's no like custom colors that I could see. And it just really, it wasn't fun to me. Like, I'm not sure. I know a lot of people liked it, but it just didn't hit any of those marks for me as far as a rhythm game.
Obviously, we can't comment on it because we haven't played it yet, so we can't defend it.
I like the presentation.
The presentation's not good.
VR Grid is saying the gameplay is muddled, that he says he really likes the soundtrack. How's the soundtrack?
I mean, and people say you might need to try higher difficulties to really get into it. And that's fair. But with Beat Saber and Audica, I didn't need to try higher difficulties to get into it because I immediately
got it. Those were just hard right off the bat, though.
And I enjoyed it. Whereas with this one, I got the gameplay loop. I just thought it was kind of, I want to say like half-baked and like not fully there. And I feel bad because I know a lot of people like it. And the PR guy was like, "Oh, I can't wait for you guys to talk about it on the show or whatever." But yeah, I didn't enjoy it. So I'm curious to see how it ends up on PSVR. But I think it will end up closer to like a Starship Disco than it will to a Beat Saber.
I'm curious, man. I think for this, like a lot of the times, the music doesn't make a huge difference because if the game's good
music
enough,
is everything for me.
Well,
everything.
But if we go back to like the launch of Beat Saber, I'm like, this is stuff I would never listen to outside of Beat Saber. But then
gameplay is also important.
But because the game roped me in, and because it's something I had to listen to over and over, I was like, you know what? I'm actually really starting to dig this stuff. So that's what I mean when I say music doesn't matter. And with this, I really feel like music matters. Like I would play this if it had like a My Chemical Romance soundtrack, but I don't know if I would play this with a with like generic EDM music or something. I have no thoughts on this until I actually get my hands on it.
Davestation VR in the chat says, "I guess I'm the only one who didn't like Synth Riders."
Me.
LOL.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, that's you. My bad. I guess the chat is disagreeing with you or something.
Well, they're not actively disagreeing; they just like it.
They're just saying really positive things about it.
So maybe I will say I only gave it like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. They say that more like a DDR with your hands, which I don't agree with because DDR requires you to make like sudden like up, down, left, right movements. And this game is all about basically holding your hands pretty still and then just doing minor adjustments to like twerk around, like just do this like fucking.
Were you actually twerking is the question?
No, I didn't twerk yet because I haven't got to higher difficulties yet. Okay. But eventually I'll twerk.
Yeah, definitely want to hear your impressions on that. I usually like to hear your impressions on
That would
rhythm
too.
games because I know you have a long history with rhythm games, so definitely.
I mean,
I also watched the Preacher play a little bit of Pistol Whipped and looked pretty cool. I have a feeling we're going to get more songs. I know it launched today, and I haven't looked at the general reviews or anything. I mean, he said he was enjoying it, said it was very physical, but looked like it was kind of light on content, like songs and stuff.
Yeah, it's 10 songs for $25 on Quest,
Right.
which is a little excessive, I think.
So I don't know. Right now, I'm totally happy with Beat Saber and Audica. I think because of the music, I really want to play Audica more. Not more than Beat Saber, but I'm just saying play it more in general. So I'm pretty happy with those two rhythm games right now. Probably my two favorite rhythm games on PSVR. And there's a couple. I mean, there's Thumper's another favorite. I love Res Infinite. And these just feel a lot more polished, a lot better. So, yeah.
Cool.
That's it for rhythm games this week. So I've got
that's it for our weekly rhythm game discussion corner.
Yes. An hour later. So guys, I've got some great news. I can't wait to share this with you. I'm very excited.
What is it?
It's going to be Contagion, man. It finally passed certification. Congratulations to that team over there. We are so happy. I think they said the release date as well is November 12th, I want to say. Somebody in the chat correct me and yell at me if I'm wrong, but I think they said it's actually coming out November 12th. And I have some great news for some of you, including myself, that they released the PSN profile trophy list, and it has a platinum trophy, and it only has 12 trophies to get that platinum. So I'm pretty excited about that, but congratulations to that team. We have been waiting. Of course, we wanted it back in October, but we'll happily take it when there's 10,000 other games to play.
I think there's a few things we need to discuss about Contagion.
Go ahead.
First of all, we haven't heard great things about the PC VR version.
Right.
Now, I'm okay with it being less than AAA quality, but it sounds like it's not even way less than AAA quality. It sounds a little janky.
Like B quality.
Like B quality. And I think for $25, I'm already maybe you should have thought that one over a little bit more. Plus, when it launches, it's not coming with Mission 4. They're still developing Mission 4, so it's coming with Missions 1, 2, and 3.
Which was that was a parking garage with police cars and stuff.
And there was actual driving in that mission too, wasn't there? Is that the one they've been showing off?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like the right. Yeah.
Brian, I will say real quick.
I've only seen the parking garage.
We have iCarly the Game Cat in here.
I love you. You're my new favorite person of all time.
Oh my God.
I know you'll see somehow the world will change for me and be so wonderful. It's actually my mom. Hi, Mom. Thanks for joining. She's like, I know it'll make him happy. A little iCarly and Game Cats. It's his two favorite things in the world.
Said, what up? Is that what your mom says when she says hello? She says, what up? All one word?
No.
Your mom sounds pretty cool.
Brian? It's not actually my mom, but thank you very much. It's the coolest person on the face of the planet in the chat right now.
I guess we didn't ever give that person a shout out. I guess we're gonna have to give a shout out.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of them in live streams. People we haven't given a GameCat shout out to. If you have changed your name to GameCat recently, make sure you put hashtag GameCat in the comments of a normal, not live stream video, so we can catch you when we do viewer takeover for next week.
Absolutely.
So $25, missions 1, 2, and 3 to a tutorial training level and a free roam mode, I think. And they said the mission 4 is their biggest one yet, and that's going to come when it's ready. Basically, no aim support, as they sort of roundabout promise. I don't want to say promise because they said, "Oh yeah, absolutely, we'll do it," but they didn't say we promise. They just said they'll do it. No aim support at launch. Single player, move controls, and 3D rudder only at this point. So the optional 3D rudder and required move controllers. I got my fingers crossed. Thank goodness for Sony's certification process, because it sounds like it's really janky on PC, and so they definitely had to optimize this one for PS4.
Tighten it up,
Well, I mean, Reborn Samurai came out, so we'll see.
I can't wait for that conversation.
Yeah, that conversation is next. We're actually going to talk about Reborn, Samurai Awakening.
Oh, my mom just sent me a text. She said, I'm listening.
Did she really?
It's not. Oh yeah, no. My mom loves me. She watches everything on the
Surprise,
channel.
Mom.
Which is why
How
when
does she like that?
which is why when I joke about like doing cocaine and stuff, I always go, "Oh God, I know
my
mom's
mom
watching."
watched.
She's like, I'm not listening anymore.
Yeah, she
Can we
knows.
come over for Thanksgiving?
She knows about my my past, unfortunately. You're always welcome for Thanksgiving, guys. You guys are always welcome at my house and my parents' house. More my parents' house than
Look
my
at
house.
my
honestly.
shirt, Brian's mom. I bought this when I was visiting Brian.
Worcester, the Paris of the
Paris
80s.
of the 80s. I don't even know what that means.
I'm
No
from
one could
here. I don't know
explain
what that means.
it. I asked Des and he never responded because I don't
But
think he.
I got Castlevania from Worcester, so I feel like I got the better deal.
Are you guys
Then,
excited about
Worcestershire.
Contagion?
Yes, because it's a zombie shooting game. I will absolutely give it tons of love until it is proven bad. I will totally be down.
Yeah.
Very excited, especially with the last couple months been little slim pickings. I'm totally down with this game. If people love Arizona Sunshine so much, this game has a good chance to be pretty liked.
I never understood
nothing
why
against
people
Arizona
loved,
Sunshine.
I never understood why people loved Arizona
Because it's
Sunshine.
killing zombies, and killing zombies is really easy to make fun.
Yeah,
Like I know they they tried very hard to make it not as fun. But the damn DLC was pretty good. I mean, it was very generic, but but other than just being like, just literally just walking around shooting zombies, like it's a cool concept. It's a fun concept. And, it's better than some of the other games we got recently.
Dave, my mom says nice shirt.
Thanks, Mom.
I don't know why
Or
she's just
Brian,
not in the
Mom.
chat, but she's texting me, so I'll just relay the messages through that. So
Wait, does she know what Paris of the 80s means? Because I would love to get some insight on what this shirt I'm
Is
wearing.
that what that shirt
I'm gonna
says?
say probably
Yeah,
not, but mom,
Worcester.
It says the Paris of the 80s?
Yeah.
yeah.
And I thought Paris was the Paris of the 80s. And it's got a Eiffel Tower on it. And I don't think there is an Eiffel Tower.
I didn't even pick up on that.
Not as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, so I don't get it. It's
I
very
want
confusing.
a shirt that says
like the
Kelly Square. That's what I want.
A picture,
Oh, God.
and with a picture
I
of
need-
Kelly Square with cars
With-
coming
And
out.
like
crashing into
three
each other.
cars. Yeah,
It's like in a pile
like
up. Like
flipped over. That's what I want. Send me a Kelly Square shirt, Brian.
So here's real quick, guys. The
Sure.
just to
And
make sure
Kelly
we
Square.
stick on Contagion here. The development team is like 5 people. So I don't comparing it to like Arizona Sunshine. Obviously, that wasn't the the highest production values of all time. But I'm sure there's more people working at Jaywalkers and Vertigo than there are at Monochrome. So I'm just trying to keep my expectations in check for this. Unfortunately, charging at $25 forces you to raise your expectations slightly. But we'll see how it all goes down in just a few days.
You can get away with 25 if it's pretty decent. At least it's
If
not
it's fun,
$40.
it just needs to be fun.
It just needs to be fun. It doesn't have to do anything spectacular. It just has to be solid. Let's put it that way.
And
It just has to be
spooky.
solid and spooky. But I mean, I really just how many levels did you say it's supposed to come with?
3
4?
missions. 3 missions,
missions?
and
I'd
they're
say
working on the 4th mission, which should
15
come
or
out
20. 15 or 20 sounds right.
20. Yeah, it seems like a better price point
Maximum.
for sure.
20 is usually the sweet spot. But
And
yeah,
I wanted to say this earlier. Actually, Paper Wings in the chat says Killing Floor Incursion is the best zombies VR game. If you're not including Resident
Kind of.
Evil,
yeah.
because it doesn't really have zombies exactly.
Resident Evil doesn't have zombies.
Yeah, so I would say Killing Floor Incursion is probably the best zombie VR.
I'd have to think. I feel like there's some twist of a game that has zombies in it that I'm not thinking of. But
Brookhaven.
Killing Floor, I like. No, I mean, I like. That's tough. I think maybe Killing Floor over Brookhaven. Yeah,
Oh, for
because
sure.
multiplayer.
Yeah.
I really like Brookhaven though, but it's definitely not. But I do feel like there is some zombie games featuring zombies. But yeah, Killing Floor. I love the combat. The combat is so satisfying.
Yeah, picking up a guy's arm with a sword attached and swinging it around and just like
Right.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, good gameplay, and gameplay is awesome. So
Except for that sniper part. That was
Nick says, "How long is the mission?" That's a good question. Just Incredible VR says it should be $12 for things. So that tells me that maybe the missions aren't very long.
Yeah, they said anywhere between 20 minutes and an hour and a half for each mission. Basically saying you can blast through them really, really quick, or you can take your time, explore every corner. That's
That's
what they
what
said.
I would want to do. I mean, that's absolutely what I would want.
But we'll see if there's
explore-
a reason
there's
to do
reason,
that. Right.
right.
That's what I did that through my my playthrough for the first half of my playthrough of Blind Spot. And finding out that there wasn't much of a reason to actually explore that mansion was
Right.
sort of a downfall. And I was
Well,
spending
you
a
also
lot of time.
You walk at like a world's slowest speed in Blind Spot, which doesn't make that any easier.
All right, what are we talking about next?
All right. So we're going to talk about one of the biggest pieces of shit I've played since Warzone. Like, it's literally so goddamn awful that Sony keeps doing this to us. You get, like, all these other headsets are getting all these great games, and I really am just wondering what the hell is going on at Sony right now that we're getting Reborn.
Sony had nothing
Samurai.
to do with this.
Oh,
Don't
wait,
even
it's
mention
easy.
Sony
What do you
in,
mean?
in
This
the
game
lead up to
doesn't
this.
work.
No,
What are you
AJ,
talking
stop.
about? This game hardly works.
Just
What?
don't mention Sony in
put
the
it
lead
like
up to
that.
it. It has nothing
you
to do
can't
with
put it
Sony.
like
I can't put what? I can't put what? Like what?
PCVR has probably gotten 12 shitty games in the time
No,
that
I
we
know,
got one
I
shitty
know.
game.
I know,
And,
but
like,
no,
that's shitty
but I'm
game
just
too.
disappointed because like why I would rather have a drought of games than this garbage like this is what I'm saying. They don't need to just have a game for the sake of having a game. There's all these updates that we get every single week. And my whole point is like, why did this game and how did this game get released? Because what certification process is it going through
No.
where I play
So,
this awful?
Tony-
Hold on. Wait, before I say that, let me just finish this. I got to the second level and the game crashed. And I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, I was like, maybe it's a thing. Maybe it's just, I ran into a bug. I restarted my PS4. I got to the same exact spot on the second level and it crashed again.
Wow.
And like, yeah, like, no, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like this game, I don't know. I get it.
Like a
They
blue
don't
screen
care
crash?
about a
Was
blue
it-
screen crash.
Wow,
I get it. Like, did it not crash for you?
No, I didn't have any crashes. I almost put that in the plus column that that the game didn't crash because I didn't have any other positive things to say about it. But I'm glad I didn't because if it crashed for you, then it's obviously crashing for other people.
Yeah, I just, I don't know. Polish Paul's still in here. Please let me know if it crashed for you, because it crashed for me, and it crashed me twice in the spot. So I assume that actually wasn't just me. But man, I watched a review. I thought it was pretty funny. Actually, it was nice to see you kind of go in on a game. Where did Dave go? Did he get like
I don't
a
know.
burrito or something?
He kind of did the whole I'll be back in 1 minute thing. It seemed like he didn't want to interrupt you.
Right. So, I haven't played a game like this since Warzone. I actually think Warzone is worse than this game. But, as I told some people earlier, that's like saying, well, at least it's poop and not diarrhea. This game is just bad, man. The mechanics are bad. Like, you see in your review, like where you're just like swinging your arms as rapidly as possible. I will give you though, the music was pretty intense, and then it starts to repeat that music, and I'm just like, oh god. K Panic with the K Panic, the cringeworthy battle cat.
We
with
got
the
no
$2
sound effect. Damn it.
Says I had my dog shaking in the background. Maybe you heard his collar, but he says rumor is Contagion DLC takes place in Worcester, or is it Worcester?
It's Worcester. Worcester. Just
Worcester.
remove all of the R's and you're good. Worcester. Yeah. Rumor is Contagion DLC takes place in Worcester. Thank you very much, K-Panic, the cringeworthy battle cat, for that awesome donation. We appreciate you. We love you. And God, I would love a zombie game that takes place in Worcester. That would be amazing.
Be pretty cool.
I just feel like, oh, here's Kelly Square, except it's just cars crashed everywhere, piled up, and zombies crawling over.
Oh, you'd be so screwed once you got to Kelly Square.
There it is. I didn't even see you come back.
Nice.
That was perfect.
But yeah,
Did
man.
we already shout out Gay Panic?
We did.
Luckily,
but better late than never.
Yeah.
So I played this game for about an hour and a half after playing like some really good games last night. And man, I was hoping like at the very least, I was like, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, Sirento Jr. Like that's going to be pretty cool. And no, it's like you said, this game runs at like 15 frames a second when you walk.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's so janky. And you're just,
very wrong, yeah.
You're just walking to a spot, you would a teleport thing.
Oh,
like
yeah. I watched
mark.
Bryan's review, which everybody should go watch because it pretty clearly defines how terrible this game is.
It really,
But-
but I gotta say, because somebody was like, this actually like looks good graphically, And no, do not be deceived. Bryan has nice equipment that he does and records this stuff so that he can bring you a nice looking review. The game looks awful in the headset. It looks much worse than that review.
Dude, Beer Power 666 goes, my positive would be, I like the design of the enemy samurai that reminds me of the Tekken character I can't spell.
Yoshimitsu?
That's
Yoshimitsu.
About Yoshimitsu?
He does look like Yoshimitsu
I'll
a little
spell it
bit.
out for you.
Except half his face, it's like they forgot to model the rest of it because it's just a black spot. And He's got like one eye. But yeah, the enemies just come up to you. They twitch. You shoot them. They just twitch and disappear. You can literally. So I almost called you out, Bryan, because you know you in your review were saying like you were swinging your arms rapidly. I was just sitting there holding the saber out, and it was like, bah, 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 bah. and then it would just like freeze, and then like it just falls down, like it just ragdolls onto the ground.
The thing that really sealed the deal for me was I was watching Polish Paul's stream, and there was this point at which he had killed a guy, and he was just vibrating incessantly, and he never disappeared. He was just going like this the whole time,
right?
And it like froze.
They do like 3 animations at once.
No, but like he couldn't progress, and then the game went black, and he couldn't get back to the menu, and it just basically glitched out. And like eventually, he pressed like 12 buttons and got back into it, but like it seems broken. It seems fully broken.
It's pretty broken. Even if it wasn't broken, it's such a piece of crap, man. Like, and you guys know me. I don't say that about any game. Like, if I say it, I really mean it. Like, because I always find it's like, you know, he said in his review too, we always find some good, some positive to take away from a game that's even bad. But this is like literally just like Warzone, where it's like they got it running, and then they were like, all right. That's it, guys. Great job. And this game's been in development for what, like 3 years?
Okay, so let's talk about this for a second, right? So here's my theory. 2 years ago, we basically saw the exact same trailer, the announcement trailer that Winking was publishing this game called Reborn and Samurai Awakens, and it was the exact one that just got re-released yesterday or the day before, right? Same exact trailer. Winking is no longer associated with this game whatsoever. It's Geronimo who developed it still, it seems like, and then it's Circle who published it. Now, my guess is about 2 years ago, Winking, in their infinite wisdom, realized, holy crap, this might be the worst game we've ever been associated with, and we cannot publish this. They probably sat on it for a really long time, decided not to publish it, that were not worth saving, and then Circle came along and said, can we buy that from you? bought it and pushed it right out the door and said, oh, it doesn't need to be finished. Here you go.
Actually, that's a fairly convincing theory. Like, that kind of makes sense.
It's the only theory I could come up with, because the game, and they're using the same exact trailer, and it's totally unfinished, so it's the only thing that I can come up with. So stay away. $15. Even if somebody gave this to you for free, shouldn't play it. Because
it's not worth your time.
Because here at Without Parole, we value your time just as much as we value your money.
And friends don't let friends play
crap,
yeah.
Diarrhea, like really bad, like with some blood in it.
I think when you prompted me, I said shit because I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah, when we were put on the spot, I couldn't remember either.
Yeah.
Winking said they're publishing it in the EU and Circle Us.
Paul, let me get that spare code, dude. I want to get
Polish Paul
and stream that because that'll be fun.
Give it to Dave so that he could stream
it, man. Throw it to me on Twitter.
I almost streamed this game because it would actually be. I just don't do that kind of thing. Like, but this would be perfect for you to stream.
Yeah, no, I mean, my wheelhouse used to be just playing terrible games.
This game is worse than Rage Room, man. This game is worse than Rage Room, and I think the best
I'm excited now.
Is how serious it takes itself. Like it's
even better.
It tries to be very serious, and it's terrible.
Makes it easier to make fun of.
And look at the trailer. Look at the trailer is a totally different game. It's got these like robots doing like acrobatics around each other, like doing flips in the air, and it just doesn't. It's not this game. This game is not what you're seeing here in the trailer.
My favorite part is probably that the AI doesn't even like finish the animations they do. Like they don't even complete their animations. Like they'll be doing one thing and then they'll just stop and start doing something else. And then like, I don't know, I was sitting there for like 5 minutes hitting this one guy, and then I stopped, and then he froze and was like, and like died. But I think the worst part about it too is like the waves of enemies they throw at you. There's like a couple just crappy enemies, and they just throw them at you over and over and over. I can't even believe they put like boss fights in this too. Like,
well, the levels are so short. It's almost like they said, okay, we've got these environments that are literally 2 rooms big, and so you walk into the first room. And they go, enemy, 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 enemy. And they're like, if we just keep throwing enemies at them, they'll have no idea how short the game is. But you're standing in the same place, just take wave after wave after wave. And then when it's finally over, like 10 minutes later, you walk to the next spot in the level, the other room in the level.
And it throws the same enemies at you
for
again.
10 minutes.
It's just dry, rinse, and repeat.
We're not that dumb. Like, we're not, like, who do they think they're selling this game to? We're not that dumb to go, oh man, this game's really long. No, it's just really boring.
Is it really long?
No, it's not even that long.
No. But it does take a minute of like grinding through enemies that are just the same enemies that just pop up.
If there were a normal amount of enemies, you could finish the game in about 20 minutes.
You can literally just hold out and everything will die. Like, there's stuff that shoots lasers at you. I wasn't even like moving. And like I was killing everything just sitting here like this. And like everything was like, they're all like trying to be like all like robots flying around, like shooting lasers at me. There's robots circling me. They're like, get them. And I'm just sitting here like this. And they're all just like exploding around me. Just sitting here like this.
Yeah. So does your lightsaber reflect bullets back?
It does. You have 2 lightsabers too. And you have a gun that you can switch to.
That sounds pretty easy.
You also have Bryan, you have an awesome gravity move. How'd that gravity move work out?
I could barely get it to work in the tutorial.
Right.
They're like, use the gravity, and I was like,
and then they're like, there's like
happening.
you can. I couldn't either. I couldn't figure it out. I like when I would give up is when like stuff would start working. But then like also it was like use the gravity shot to at this teleport spot, and it'll teleport you over there. I'm like, what? Like.
Yeah, no, this is garbage. There's no excuse for this. And here's the thing. I get it, right? I get that we get shovelware. Every single console on the face of the planet ever gets crappy games. We get shovelware. We get horrible ports. It happens, right?
It happens sometimes.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot.
Yeah, but not
every
but when we have a bunch of awesome games. I guess we did get Audica.
We did get you cut out. We did get what?
Audica. He was saying Audica, really good game.
Yeah, I'm happy with Audica, so I'm not like this. But and we've got this month is going to be stacked. Yeah. So if a game like this were to come out, I'd want it to be a delayed day when everyone's looking at the store, from the day that everyone's looking at the store, and like silently be released. And like nobody knows it exists. And I really wish there was like a petition or something we could do to like remove games from the store, because I don't think it needs to be there. I just and what's it doing being $15? Like,
what's it doing being anything? What's it doing existing? What's it doing being in our hands? Why are we able to buy this thing? We shouldn't.
I will say, to its credit, the AI is better than Warzone's.
to Warzone's credit, I'd rather play Warzone.
That's the sad part, right? Like Warzone's actually worse, and I'd still rather play it than Reborn.
Which pile of shit do you want to eat for dinner, AJ?
I don't even know. I don't know. I don't like shit for dinner.
Exactly.
I like good stuff.
I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
You eat shit for dinner. Oh man, no. This is just bad, man. Like, this game is just go get Sirento. That's what I'm saying. Don't be mad about this game. Don't be mad that this game is just. Sorry, I keep shaking the thing. Don't be mad that this exists. Go buy Sirento. That's an actual good.
Go buy Sirento, everyone. Go buy Sirento,
or at least get it on sale or something. Get it if you don't want it, whole price. Get it on sale. But yeah, if you want like an action ninja game, Sirento is where it's at, man. It's
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, what else we got to talk about here today, guys?
That's a good question. Let's look at the list of things.
Well, I'm curious to see what you guys have been playing.
Yeah.
I did play Horror Sense on Halloween. Was our last GAMESCAST Halloween? It was Halloween, right?
It was.
Please tell me about this, because how did you enjoy it?
I loved Horror Sense a lot, man. It was the animation, the almost like the realism of it and stuff. Of course, you're just pressing X, and I've got it down now. Darumasaka Koron Da. And like, but my favorite. Darumasa ga koronda.
Daruma-san ga koronda.
Sanda.
Um,
But yeah,
Daruma-san ga koronda.
I think one of my favorite parts too is like as you get further in this game, it starts becoming all like twisted. So it's like, and I was like, holy shit. Like, but the monsters popping out at you and stuff was so cool. Really wish this would get an American release, but I just don't see it. Get what is it called? Like a translation,
like
or
a
something?
localization.
Localization.
There's not that much
easy.
voiceover to translate.
Yeah, just the intro part, which is like 2 minutes of people talking, like that couldn't be that hard.
I didn't realize it was going to get so hard by the third level. Though.
Well, it's this like crazy red light, green light, but you never know because sometimes they're just
you can't see when when they're turned around, and then also you're on a timer, so you have to pick up these little journals as you go along to extend the timer. But overall, I absolutely love this game, man. I really want to try to beat it, to be honest with you. So it's a little expensive at $20, but it's really good. So I don't regret anything. And I still plan to get Pupil Wandering next, which I've already got the yen in there. So I just got to pick it up.
nice.
But yeah, Horror Sense is awesome, man. Great game.
Every time AJ says he's got plenty of yen in his account, I just keep thinking, it's raining yen.
Hallelujah. It's raining yen.
He's making it rain yen over there.
It's raining yen over here, guys.
Sorry.
Man,
I had to share that. I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight if I didn't tell you guys what I was thinking.
I love the Japanese. It's so worth making a second account.
Or a third or a fourth, because you can get the Australian account, get shit early, get the Hong Kong account
for a big price.
Yeah, but the trick is
the conversion rate is not that bad.
Somebody commented actually that they were like, it's such a shame, and I'm not like calling out the person or anything because I understand where they're coming from, but they were like, it's such a shame to give me their name. They were like, it's such a shame that I have to create another account to get this game. I was like, dude, when I was younger, I used to have to go to a specialized gaming store, buy a PlayStation 1 mod chip that I'd have to
solder into the console.
I didn't have that one. That was the PS2 and PS3.
No, I had to solder for PS1.
Yeah, I got lucky and found one that I had to put a spring in the opening compartment thing, and then it actually fit onto the thing under the back, under the chipset in the back. So I actually got really lucky. But dude, but that thing was like $60-$70, and I was like, making an account in another region takes like literally 4 minutes. Yeah. And then you go to cgm.com, you use PlayAsia, and you can easily get credits using PayPal and stuff, so your stuff's secured. And I was like, this is a godsend to be able to just make an account like this. Like, I would do this all day, every day, over having to go through that process that I used to have to do.
Never mind.
Paul says AJ sounds like an old time boomer. LOL.
I mean, but honestly, to go along with it, it wasn't just modding the console. I remember having to find places that imported games or send away for it and wait for it to come from Japan, right? And I mean, you'd be waiting like 3 or 4 weeks to get something and that you paid a crazy amount of money for.
I'm surprised you only had to wait weeks. I've seen it take like 2-3 months.
I mean, depending on what year we're talking about,
Yeah.
So when eBay became a thing, I was extremely happy that I had easier access to things.
Oh yeah.
I also played Wolfenstein finally.
Oh god.
And I got it for $10 because it was on sale recently. Wasn't too bad, actually. Was pretty fun. Was pretty polished. But at first I was like, I'm not sure about this. And then as I played, I'm like, yeah, this actually isn't too bad. And right as I started having fun, it was over. It took me an hour and a half to beat it. It's literally a level. You get to play as 3 mechs or something. You get to play as the Panzerhund, which I actually really loved because I have this obsession with animals, and even a mech animal. I'm like
robot dogs.
Robot dog, robot tiger, whatever it is. Okay. So there's a level with the Panzerhund, there's a level as a drone, and then there's a level as an actual mech, and then there's a level where you play all three, and then it's over. Yeah. Hour and a half. So for $10 though, I really can't say I was mad, but but it was such a short experience. I was just done with it. So, and I will say the graphics, you were spot on. The graphics look really great. I could see somebody that just picked up a VR and wants something that looks really good. And also, this is the first Bethesda game that actually had good controls at launch. I was like, oh my God, like the controls are actually pretty well done. That's so rare for a Bethesda game. I know Skyrim is really good now, almost like set the new standard. But when Skyrim launched, the controls were not very good. I don't even think it had smooth locomotion or smooth turning. It didn't have smooth turning. I don't know if it had full locomotion. Maybe it did. But didn't have smooth turning and stuff, and had like all these blinders and whatever. So great job on them for that. But I looked at the credits at the end of the game, and it was like 3 developers and like 100 corporate people in a building.
Seems like that's how all credits are now.
Yeah.
I would say this one, obviously I had the infamous live stream where I did my first impression stream, and I was like so angry at the game. I was like, couldn't believe they were, making me do bullshit. And then when I played it again, I got to say the more memorable parts of the game weren't the parts where you're actually in the different mechs and killing things or being stealthy. The more memorable parts to me, the things I remember the best and enjoyed the most, I think, were actually the parts where you were, strapped to that chair and going up and down the elevator and doing ridiculous VR tasks.
The feeling of going up and down the elevator was so good. I love that feeling. I did like the combat too. I mean, that was what I liked the most. But yeah, that feeling of going up and down, like down the elevator, especially, I was like, oh, like it gave me like a little tingling sensation. I was like, yeah, like that's really cool.
The combat to me, I didn't think was all that great. I felt like all the enemies just were like, oh, they're here, they're cannon fodder, they're just an excuse to get that flamethrower out and just like light people on fire.
Yeah, you're kind of right. There were parts where it's like you can literally just stand behind a statue and just shoot stuff, and that kind of was the strategy behind it. But there was little things that it did give you the option of. No, you're absolutely right. Like it's just it was more exciting at sometimes than others, but yeah, the cover system and the combat system was not good, but it was just fun, just generally just going through a city and just destroying everything. Hack the game cat meow says, damn it, just give us real Wolfenstein. I agree, and give it aim support as well. Justin Credible says this is one hell of a $10 VR title. I think it's okay. Sutrabla says $20 physical. I wouldn't buy it for I'd be really mad to buy this game for $20. But yeah, I did, like I said, I enjoyed it, but it was like over in an hour. So try to pay $5 for it, but 10's okay. But just know after an hour and a half, like that's it.
What do you think, Dave? Been playing anything that we haven't talked about this on this episode yet?
Not on this episode, but I feel like I've talked about this in past episodes. Once again, The Outer Worlds is such a good flat screen game. If anybody decides to play a flat screen game, I'm doing every single side quest. I just took a priest on a side quest it ended in us doing like ayahuasca and like tripping out, and there's like phantoms appearing and you have to talk to them and stuff. It was like a drug trip. It's very fun. Nice. But it's such a nice game. Somebody earlier said, I don't want Fallout 4 in VR. I want Outer Worlds in VR. And that is the right take, because Outer Worlds would be beautiful in VR. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's a great game. Everybody should buy it. Without going into too much detail, is it comparable to a Fallout game in any way? Or is it just first person by the guys who made the original Fallout game. So yes,
but Wasteland was too, and I was like, I did. You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay, no, it's very much in the vein of a Fallout game. It's a lot about strict, like old school RPG stats. You have all these different things you can be good at. You can be a talker or a shooter or a stealth person. And there's a lot of granularity to the stats. And then, like, I don't know, there's so much dialogue that's really well written, and all the dialogue arcs, like the trees you can pick from, are really good. Like, there's an option for everybody that sounds good, and it's well written, and it's clever. It's a game where I want to talk to NPCs for like 10 minutes instead of skipping everything they say. Like, I want to do everything. Cool. So it's very Fallout-y. It's very cool.
So two things about Outer Worlds. But first, Ploppy Pants, the game cat Jedi, meow, says, anyone know what's happening with Sniper are.
Super
We
elite.
don't really know. I know it's getting closer and closer to launch. That is one of my most anticipated games for sure. I think it's going to actually possibly end up being maybe the best aim game. Of course, there's Firewall and Farpoint that has to compete with, but that aside, it still looks like it's going to be an excellent game. That is another game to be looking forward to. It might even, I don't know. You think it'll come out before Iron Man, or you think Iron Man will happen first?
I think it'll beat
I think
Iron
Iron
Man.
Man will be first.
Oh,
Yeah.
You think it'll?
Wait.
Oh, you think it'll beat Iron Man?
I think it'll beat Iron Man,
What says-
personally.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'd like to think that it would beat Iron Man as a December, January release, but we don't know. But yeah, game looks awesome. Or seek the game. Oh, good.
No, I'm just gonna say I like when we get an announcement of a game, and then developers go silent, just like radio
Right.
silent until it gets closer to release.
They showed weren't they? They're demoing it and stuff. So it's like
in the demo they showed it looked great, and now we haven't
Right.
really heard anything, and no new updates about about what's going to be in the game or prices or release dates. I'm like, just go do your thing. We don't need to hear from you every single day. Just let us know when you have something important to announce closer to launch, and then we can all get excited about it. And please don't be like, oh, it's coming in 7 months from now. Just wait till like a month before, and then we can all be excited for a month and then play it. That's what I would just like all developers to do from now on. Be like, announce your game, go silent, then come back about a month before release.
Yeah.
Are you
So,
talking?
Brian, what have you been playing, Brian?
I see AJ's mouth moving, but I don't hear him talking.
He's not talking. Oh, actually, he's on mute. Yeah, nothing's happening. Can't hear you, AJ. Sorry. You got to unplug some shit, plug it back in.
Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again?
We're on Sprint
Dave,
customer.
Just,
what have you been playing, Brian?
So I've just been trying to like do as much without Parole VR stuff as possible. So it's only been like the new games. It hasn't been anything really exciting. I think since the last time I saw you guys, I did do my Resident Evil not only full run through Halloween night, but then the following day I did my speed run, and so that was like 2 days of VR right there.
Yeah, like
AJ,
12 hours worth of VR almost.
Yeah, exactly. And
check one.
There we go. He's back.
There he is. We got him.
And I will say about Resident Evil 7 that I'm never gonna get sick of that game. I played it. I played through the entire game twice in 2 days, and I'm still not sick of it. I am ready to go through a third time with the new saw blade, and see what other trophies I can unlock. I don't know how I'm not sick of this game yet.
I really want to play through that again. Nick just says, I just started playing Farpoint. Amazing game and graphics. Nick, welcome to the club. I absolutely love Farpoint. Me and my good buddy Void Cat, the game citizen, who already replied to you. We absolutely love that game. We still play the multiplayer on Chaos, and eventually going to stream it.
But you talked about Farpoint and Haplo hasn't shown up?
No, Haplo did not show up.
He's somewhere in spirit going Farpoint's overrated.
Yes,
even though none of us agree with that.
There
statement.
was one person on the earth that believes Farpoint is overrated. I do not think so.
No,
the game had me from the story trailer, even before it came out, and I bought the aim controller with the bundle so fast, and just played through the whole game. I think in one day, and it just floored me, man. Floored me. And then they added more co-op levels. So, Nick, if you want, join our Discord, man. We got people that'll play multiplayer with you.
Yeah, for sure. Click that link in the description. Everybody join our Discord. This place is busier than it's ever been. I love hopping in at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning after a 3-hour nap, and getting back to work and checking the Discord and seeing everyone having a lively conversation about God only knows Baby Shark Dance song.
Yeah, something they might need to get banned for. Who knows?
Dan Kiefer says, any chance of the new Arkham game being... I don't think so.
New Arkham game being PSVR?
Yeah, I don't think so, but an Arkham game just in general would be pretty sweet.
It's unlikely. It's unlikely, but the fact that, a good core team of Rocksteady Studio made Arkham VR, there's a possibility...
Team.
Yeah, why not?
There's a possibility that they were experimenting with it and saying, hey, is this something we can do for our next release? So anything's possible.
I mean, I feel like there's this inevitable point in the future where VR is big enough that all the superheroes have VR games.
Can't wait.
There's going to be like fucking every time a Spider-Man movie comes out, there'll be like a VR game to go with it or some shit.
Man, after that last, what was the last Spider-Man experience? Far from home. Thank you.
Yeah.
After that, it's like
what's next?
Right, there's something that is just like very basic looking, but very very effective in what it does.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I can't wait till a AAA studio gets their hands on this and gets to allow us to be Spider-Man in VR.
I think Iron Man's gonna like break the seal on that, and then we'll see a lot more stuff like that.
You're probably right.
Zach Lightning, what's up, dude? Saw you when you came in. He's like, none of you has completed Tetris Effect. You don't have the stare. Well, I've got news for you, Zach Lightning. I did complete Tetris Effect.
Yeah, seriously.
And I completed my full metamorphosis phase. And the next day, I started cleaning my house, and I felt like I was arranging things a lot more efficiently. I was like walking around with stuff in my house and like stacking stuff, and like I was like perfectly placing stuff, perfectly balanced. And I was like, I am one with the Tetris.
This man was high as shit.
Right.
I wish I was, but I was just cleaning.
You were feng shuiing.
I was experiencing the Tetris.
You were feng shuiing like an old Chinese master.
That game like opened my third eye. It was awesome. Monkey Man Game. I'm here. I didn't miss it. You kind of did, because this is the end of the show.
This really is the end of it.
Pretty much, yeah.
But you still got your shout out. We love you for making it at the last second anyways.
That's right.
You're going to get to hear whatever weird story somebody tells at the end of the show.
God, I hope it's not me. Apparently my mom's watching. I can't tell weird stories.
Well, AJ usually takes point.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Guyson.
It pops into my head.
It says just no one has the platinum Tetris in Tetris Effect. Does nobody have the platinum in Tetris Effect?
Do not have the platinum.
I'm sure somebody does. People are crazy. If somebody's got the platinum in Preda, somebody's got the Tetris Effect platinum.
People are crazy, but we're crazy because this show is running super long. It's been over 2 hours, and I think it's probably time to start wrapping things up, guys.
I just wanted to talk with the cat's little.
Are we done with that, or do you want to do it?
Let me make sure no one else has got any questions. They're here is a miracle. Blah blah. I think you were actually on point. I think you were right, and I shouldn't have interrupted you, and I apologize.
What are we talking about? Who interrupted who?
I forget. I thought I interrupted you, and
I have no idea what's going on. We need to end the show. This is absolutely ridiculous. All right. That's going to do it for another episode of PSVR Gamescast Live. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for everybody who hung out in the chat. And thank you to all those people, the lurkers out there who just like to watch the show and don't even contribute. I know there's a bunch of you probably kicking back on a couch, just hanging out and watching this whole thing happen. And we love you just as much as we love everybody else. But of course, we love our donators and our Patreon supporters a little bit more than the rest of you.
Just a little bit.
I
hope my microphone sounded better tonight, guys.
It sounded much better. I think we're gradually improving the show every episode, AJ.
We got one question from Polish Paul before we wrap it up. He says, AJ, what's your favorite time of the year? This is what you tell over the credits as we roll the credits.
Perfect. In that case, let's end the show. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you head on over to patreon.com/withoutprogames to get $1 or more. Even perfect. Every single month, if you like us, and we will definitely try to reciprocate. We got some. I have a very late litter box going up this week. I promise you. And that's it. Make sure you join our Discord. Click the link in the description, and we will see you all very, very soon. I love you all. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Cats. My name is Bryan, and we're out.
Peace.
All right, AJ, what is your favorite time of the year?
My favorite time of year is when all PSVR gamers come together for this little celebration.
What accent is that?
Because it's always better when there's more of us.
No, that's not your Polish Paul accent,
and we find out the meaning.
No, I can understand him too well.
Take that back to the laboratory. Take that back to the laboratory workshop.
Workshop it, yeah.
Workshop. You didn't say anything.
My favorite time of year is when Johnny Wright popped the straight cat or seek the game cat.
Is there any way to end the show sooner?
Wait,
Monkey Man Games.
Can you just answer
Dan Kiefer.
the Bane voice instead of reading people's names? What's your favorite time of year? Be honest, Bane.
My favorite time of year has already passed. That would be Halloween, or it would be
fall in general.
whenever.
I'd have to say.
The fall is definitely favorite time of year. I really wish I had an answer for that.
Sorry, Polish Paul just said, remember all, Audica and Starship Disco is the same.
You should play that some more.
No, I'm never going to play Starship Disco because I have Audica now.
My favorite time of year is when Paul steals my footage and
Whoa.
uses it for
getting serious over here.
without my consent. I'm just kidding. I told him it was okay. But Paul, you have a better computer than I do now. Why aren't you using that? Gato.
Can we stop the show now?
Can we stop the show?
Good night, everybody. We love you all.
Have a good night, guys.